everybody. The stream is beginning, but only if you say please. All right. Bye.
Please.
Yo. What's up, everybody?
What up?
We're back. We are back, and we're live streaming.
It is Thursday. That means it is time for the Crank Developer live stream with one of my best friends in this world, Joe. What's up, brother?
What up? We're on Instagram today for the first time, too. I don't know how good it's going to be. We've been having issues with that, but we're finally live on Insta. So if you're on Insta, what's up?
Gonna give it a shot. Quick shout out. Bennett's been hanging out with us from the start. What's up, man? Chill Clinton and Aaron in the house as usual, which is excellent.
We've got new build. I'm on a new build that you guys don't have yet, mostly because it's still buggy. Like you can see, I can break my wrist in this build every time I crouch down. So there's some issues there. But we do have a little bit of third person, so we'll preview that later. We've also got the drone, obviously, which has been in the game. But we've got some other... We got this cool start gate now, so you kind of like actually start in like a start hut, which is pretty sick. I'll show it to you guys real quick from third person. But yeah,
Thanks to Oliver for this work.
Yep, and then we got some other cool new things. We've got these new posts that say cranked on the top, and we've got new timing gates. Where's the first timing gate? I think it's like over here somewhere. Here you go. We got new timing gates in the game already. Some of the stuff will get tweaked and changed, work in progress, but we'll be doing that. Probably gonna go hit up some free ride lines because with third person, it's actually really fun to do some tricks. We're just gonna hang out and you guys can ask questions and yeah. Whoa, look at this thing.
That's dope. It's killer. Hey, Tuna Fish on TikTok. Thank you so much for the live share, and Logan also for sharing the live. And a few of you have followed us. We were like 3 followers away from 7,500 on TikTok. So I think you guys may have just gotten us there, actually. Take a look real quick and see if I can tell.
Yeah, let me look, actually. Yeah, we just hit our goal.
Yeah, we did.
Right, 7,502.
That's it.
So, dude, let's move the goal.
Nice.
Let's move the goal. Wait, can I move it now? Let's see.
We establish a new goal. We hit our original goal. Let's honor the original goal and establish a new one for the next level. Is what I'm saying. This live is very laggy. I'm seeing on Instagram so far.
See, Instagram is just not. We're going 10K for the next goal.
But Gage, hey Gage, thanks for giving us some feedback over on Instagram. We have not really been able to get things to work well on Instagram yet. We're giving it a shot today, so this feedback is helpful. But yeah, from my view, it looks pretty laggy too.
Should we just turn it off?
I don't know.
It's funny because when we're testing it and I've got like the feed up, it looks beautiful. Then as soon as we're actually live, it gets crappy. I don't understand what's up with Instagram. I don't think they really care too much about live streaming. The one encoder I could use to make the live stream better apparently doesn't work, and then I have to use a worse encoder, and you know, the bit rate is as high as it can go for Instagram, so it's like I don't really know what else to do. But yeah, it looks like we're getting like 1 frame per second, so it's probably best to turn it off. Bad. Anyway, if you guys are on Instagram attempting to watch, we are on our YouTube. It's just youtube.com/cranked, I think. We're also on our TikTok lives, but I'm going to turn off the Instagram for now because I'd rather you not have a horrible experience. So sorry, guys, on Instagram. Maybe someday Instagram will get their crap together. But right now, streaming from OBS to Instagram is not super great. So see you later. All right. Instagram is done.
So let's talk about what we're going to do today, Joe. You're going to go through this new build, like you said, look at third person a little bit. Talk about some of the bugs we're seeing in this build as well, because I know we've had a few bugs that have come up as well, like right there. But there are more than that. We'll talk about that. I'm heading to El Paso next week. Actually, next week's live will be done with me and Joe together in El Paso. So that's going to be a different experience. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit later and see if people have ideas on things that we can do
definitely.
when we're together.
Definitely want to talk about that, especially with the YouTubers. But yeah, I could talk about first we'll talk about this wrist bug. So you guys see the wrist. Like if I crouch down, it looks like he's like ape hanger bars and his wrists are all cocked. We're in the process right now. Maggie's been working on the new rider model. This one's a placeholder Unity asset and it's not very flexible. It doesn't give us a lot of room to like customize the rider how we want it. So Maggie's making our proper one. And Zach's actually going to throw in like a temporary mannequin that's more flexible to use until Maggie finishes. So that should probably be going in the game this week or next. And then we can start getting the rider animations and body positions and everything more correct, because right now they're really placeholdery. So that's what's going on now. But I didn't want to like run the old build, because the old build doesn't have third person and all these other kind of fun things. So we'll deal with the broken wrists for today. They look kind of funny and they make me laugh. So whatever, embrace the jank. So it's one thing we're working on, but in the next month or two, we'll start seeing things shape up with new rider animations, and all. It'll start looking really pretty. There you go. Here's a little bit of sneak preview of third person. It's very work in progress. I think Zach threw it in here mainly because he was working on getting the suspension moving, which you guys can see now. The suspension does move. Let's see here. See, look at that. So suspension's looking good. But yeah, as far as third person camera, we haven't done anything really with making it look better. He kind of just tossed it in just to work on suspension. So in the future, we'll add more settings, polish it up, make it look better. Obviously, once we get the new rider in and things like that. So it's still very early.
Dot over on TikTok asked if the suspension is out yet. Joe was just talking about it. We'll demonstrate the suspension numerous times today. When he goes into third person, you can really kind of see it in action.
Yeah, here you go. I actually think it works really good if you roll backwards. Like, there you go. So you can see the front suspension rolling and compressing.
Yeah. There you go, Dot. And Alex, yeah, you got your answer on TikTok also. Consoles eventually, but we're early on at this point, so not yet.
Yeah, I think this is the best way to kind of look at it. You know, you can see if I squat down, it moves. Anyway, suspension's moving.
Yeah, it looks good. Let's do a quick roll call on YouTube. This is our general crew hanging out with us. I see Aaron and Chiller with us. Makai's with us. Gage is. I think this is Gage. I think you were checking out Instagram for us, but you're the same Gage on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know if I'm wrong about that. Brent Goes Fast is here. What's up, man?
Oh, Brent.
Hope it's going well, Brent. Duck is here. What's up, Duck? So we got our crew with us on YouTube. We don't have Tails here yet, but unless something's going on, I expect he will show up eventually.
Ollie's got a question. Ask your question, man. If you got a question in chat, ask away.
Yeah, go for it.
Hixie says, I think driving backwards needs to be more real. What do you mean by that? If you could explain what you're talking about.
Yeah, and to y'all on TikTok who are asking about the Descenders questions, we get this so much that it ends up dominating the show. So before the show, Joe posted, well, previously Joe had posted an answer to this, but before this stream, he pinned it to the top of our profile. So if you're on TikTok and you kind of want to know why this is so different from Descenders, which it is, maybe just check out our profile and go to that top video and you'll get the answer there. That way we don't kind of repeat it 1,000 times in one day.
Can you make more jump lines, please? Sure. Actually, here, I'll show you the new jump lines. Cedric just finished the new trails last night. So I'll show you some new ones we've got. There's going to be like 40-ish trails in this map, you guys. And we've only got maybe 10, 8 or something. I don't know. We're not even like a quarter of the way filling out this map. And we've already got multiple jump lines, but all in here are all new trails. And now they go all the way down to the bottom. So let me roll these real quick. Ollie, so if I pay the money a month once and bought it, do I get the full game it releases? The way we're doing the Patreon is, depends on how much you spend. There's different tiers, but if you spend $50 or more on Patreon throughout the entire time we have our Patreon live, if you spend 50 or more when the game releases on Steam, you'll get a free Steam key. So if you subscribe at $5 for 1 month, no, you won't get the game when it releases. But if you subscribe at $5 for 10 months, which would equal 50, then you would get it once the game releases. So depends on how much you spend.
That's how it works.
So here's one jump trail, which is pretty fun, but it leads into a new jump trail, which we'll hit towards the bottom of this. And like I said, ignore the wrists, guys. The wrists are bugged today. How long roughly is the Patreon up for? It's been up for 2 months, and we estimate it'll be up for at least a year. So you've probably got another 10 months or a year or more and, for the Patreon.
Joe and I were actually talking about this right before the stream. So if we ever kind of make the decision that we're ready to schedule early access or we know when it's going to be, we'll say that as early as possible. So, if you've been sort of accumulating a certain amount of money toward that 50 and now all of a sudden there's only 3 months of Patreon left, you'll know. And you can decide if you want to change a contribution to hit that $50 mark. Just kind of a thing that we don't know any other way to do that other than to just kind of let people know what we're thinking as we go and give people plenty of time to react. I think that's the best way. Yo, what's up, Max?
Guys, third person has barely been touched. So, third person's pretty much all placeholder. It's kind of fun to see how it looked just naturally without us doing anything. Like, we haven't worked on rider, body position, animations, like all of that's placeholder. So, like I said earlier, we threw this in here just to test the suspension and make sure the suspension's moving correctly. But still fun to play with now in the early state. We're going to start working on that. I mean, we're already working on it now. Maggie's on the new rider and all that. So things will shape up in the next couple months. But here's the new section of jump trail. This is going to be like a beginner jump trail where it'll be part of the tutorial probably. Maybe like the third trail players play when they load up the game. And this will be like one that kind of teaches them how to jump. It's a really easy trail. You don't even have to jump on the jumps to clear them. You can just like cruise them. But there's actually some really fun features here towards the end.
Frankie and Kieran, thank you guys for the follow on TikTok. Appreciate that very much. The game is called Cranked Liam.
Oh yeah, bugs have crashed in this
all he
build
wants to know if we know the price when it's going to be released. We don't. We're still early, and we just it's not really time for that decision yet, so we don't really know. We try really hard to focus on what matters now and not spread that out too much to things that are more future things. Not to the extent that we put ourselves in problems later on, but I just think it's a focus on the right thing at the right time mentality in general that we try to have.
The end of this trail is just kind of straight and boring, but we don't know exactly how we're going to build out the bottom of the mountain, so no point of like making it crazy right now, because in the end there might be like buildings there, chair lifts, sidewalks, people hanging out, coffee shop, who knows. So the endings for now are just kind of here as placeholder, but eventually all this stuff will get built out. Let's see what else. Alex asking if the third person is in the Patreon build yet. Not yet. It'll probably be in the next build. Even if it's janky, we'll probably still release it anyway. We've got a few things we're working on before we update the next version. We wanted to get some of the new art stuff in there, which we've got in there now. We wanted to get the suspension moving, which we've done. And then we wanted to do a new form of leaderboard. Right now, the way the leaderboards work is like it identifies your device. So each device you play on has like a unique ID. And that's, you can change your username, but it's kind of device based. And we want it to be account based instead. So that way, if you play on multiple devices, you just log in with your same account, and then your times will all transfer over and it'll be the same username. So like if you look at the leaderboards now, I've played this one the most. I've got, Joe Mama So Fast is my main account. And then Joe in Unity, that's when I'm playing in Unity. And then there might be one in here called Joe Mac, and that's when I'm playing on my Mac. So we're going to go away from that and just have it so you log in and you've got the same thing all over the place. It'll also make the leaderboards less buggy. Right now there's some bugs with the leaderboards, but that'll be a temporary solution until we're on Steam. Once we're on Steam, it'll all be part of Steam, all the Steam like APIs and stuff. So you'll just you just load up the game on Steam and it'll automatically have your Steam username and everything. You won't have to like log in or anything like that. Leaderboards, yeah, we'll probably reset the leaderboards next build, because I think we'll have to, because it'll have the new leaderboard. The new leaderboard system, and I think when he redoes the whole leaderboard system, he'll probably have to clear it anyway. So yeah, leaderboards will be reset. Plus there's a couple bug times on the leaderboards anyway.
AWI on TikTok, I'm not sure if you're still here, but you said the third person looks mid and the bike looks mint. And I guess I'll just say for anybody who's just discovering us, how many days did we say we're into this now, Joe? Not even 200 days into development of this game. But we're developing in public, which means we show stuff as soon as we do it. So the third person, if you would have asked me a week ago if we'd be seeing this at all right now, I would have said no way. You're just seeing the very first version, and that's why it looks mid. We've barely started working on it. So, Zach is doing foundational stuff with the third person right now. Over time, it's going to improve. Hang with us. The bike was the same. Originally, it looked horrible, but we had a little time with it, and now it looks better because of that. So just the way we do this, there are going to be things that look mid for a while still. It's just how it goes.
You coming in that turn hot. Yeah, we'll add it to Xbox and console after we get the PC version dialed. Like Brian just said, we're 5 to 6 months into development, and we probably have a year to 2 years to make this game in like its MVP first version form. So got a ways away before it'll be on console, but we'll get there.
Squatch is back. What's up, brother? Nice seeing you. Everett, of course we remember you, man. You were just chatting with us a day or two ago. It's good to see you, man. Duck, they said that the bike looks mint and third person looks mid, which I think is fair at this point. It's just that we, the bike is closer to completion and third person we just began. So a close up of my mug, you got it, Aaron, all day long.
Lost way too much speed right there. It's all right. Let's go free ride this.
I think it's a Disney princess. I think it is. It looks like a Disney princess to me. That's my mug.
We're gonna go free ride this new feature that I really like. You can do some cool stuff on it. Let's see if I can recreate what I did the other day. Oh, like that. Come on, first try.
Oh.
First try. I've been playing too much. That's my problem. Little Manny over the bridge, maybe.
Yeah.
Up, kinda. Tire tap into the tree. Did that on purpose.
MX Bikes Clips has a question for you, Joe. Are you thinking about making like an option for low, mid, and high camera and like FOV change? I know some of this stuff is already there, so I'll let you answer the question while you're.
Yeah, there'll be a bunch of camera settings, especially if you're an MX Bikes player. I think we really think MX Bikes did all their camera settings the right way, so we'll probably have settings very similar to that. So if that's what you're used to and that's what you play, you should be at home once we're done with all of our camera settings. We've already got some, like you can change FOV, which actually I like mine a little lower. So we've got some stuff now, but yeah, we'll be adding a bunch more in the future. Let's do top to bottom.
Not on mobile yet, Liam, and maybe never. We don't know. It wasn't really something we were thinking about. Never say never, but it's not in the plan currently. Alex says we should do a play test on Steam.
We will.
You would play it? We will.
The plan for that is probably play test in the next... What month are we in? October? I would say play test within the next 2 months, and then hopefully like a free demo... I don't know, maybe a couple months later once we feel like the play test has been solid enough. But yeah, so wishlist on Steam if you guys haven't yet, and you'll be notified if we've got demo and play test and all that stuff. We don't have a release date, guys, yet. Full release date. We're early on. We're just kind of developing in the open. This game will take us at least another year on console, maybe 2 years from now. So you got a ways to wait, but follow us and we'll let you know when things are cooking. I'm back with more thoughts about surround. I'd put an e-bike in the game before I put a surround in the game. Hodge, Joe, I want a derailleur tuning minigame. Installed my first one in real life last night, and it took me way too long. Yeah, dude, that's why I don't mess with that stuff. I just drop it off. Say, here you go, Richie. Fix it, and he does. What do you guys want to know about, man? Ask us questions. What do you guys want to know? Spider, is they're going to have realistic characters and character customization? Yeah, we're actually waiting on Maggie to kind of give us a preview of the first version of the rider model. She's been working on it all this week. She'll probably work on it next week as well. But once she's got a work in progress preview, we'll show you what that's going to look like, and that should give you a good idea what the graphics will look like. The bike is mostly done. There's some bugs with it and some things that need to be tweaked, but I'll show you the bike here in a second, and you can kind of get an idea what the graphics are going to be like with the bike. But graphics will shape up a lot over the next year or more. And then we will have a lot of character customization. Oh, that was the wrong button. Hold on. Here you go. So you can see the bike. It's pretty detailed. Obviously, there's things wrong with it. The brake calipers are messed up. There's some cables that are loose. So there's some tweaking to go, but you can kind of see the amount of detail and the style. Rider will probably be similar. Will look nothing like the rider you see here. This is a placeholder Unity asset, so ignore that. It'll look totally different. There'll be a lot of rider customization. You'll be able to change your shoes, your pants, your shirt, your helmet, gloves. You'll be able to select male or female. Hopefully be able to change like skin tone and hair and accessories and all kinds of stuff like that.
Aaron asked me what I have in my mug. It's just tea. But what I do have is a throat condition. And unfortunately today it seems to be rearing up on me. I think this is the first time during a live that we've done that I've had this come on like this. So we'll see how well this goes. I'm going to give it my best. That is for sure.
Robbie Bread over on YouTube asked about weather. Hey, we've talked about it. I think stuff like that to us is kind of like a stretch goal in our head. Like that's not something that has to be done for us to launch the game, but it could come later. So it's not something we're looking to do right now. We've got knock out the priorities first, but we've talked about it. We'd love the idea of it and have like mud races and things like that. So we'll see what happens in the future, but it's on our radar, not in the initial roadmap right now. We need a trail called Buns. Yeah, for real. Probably should, actually. These kids these days and their slang. Trying to read chat and play at the same time. It's a new skill I'm learning, you guys. Max the Axe Gaming. If you pay on Patreon and take a break from paying for a month or two and pay again, does the money spent this break still count? Yeah, Patreon keeps track of all, as long as you're using the same account. As long as you use the same account, Patreon will track it all. I have a dashboard where I can see everyone's accounts and how much you've spent. And what we're going to do when the game launches is go in there and just filter everyone who's paid 50 or more, take all your emails, shoot you an email with a Steam key, and you'll get it that way. So you could do $5 this month, take a break for 6 months, do $10, month 7, doesn't matter. What are the controls like? And is it on Xbox? No, it's not on Xbox yet. It's on Patreon. Let me tell you about the controls. Well, first of all, we've got you can see the controls here. Is this updated? Yeah.
Answer the question as you do the controls about the arms for Lewis on TikTok as well, Joe.
Oh, the arms are all placeholder and bugged. If that's, I don't see where you're, but yeah, ignore the arms for now. But here, let me show you the controls. So here's left stick, left and right, steers the bars. Right stick, left and right leans, and it just leans a little bit on its own. But if you combine the two, you can do some pretty low leans. So that's both sticks in one direction. So that's the left and right on both sticks. Forward and back on the left stick is like your rider weight leaning forward or back. That's how you would like wheelie, push through a jump. The right stick crouches and pops up. So that's how you jump and pump and do other things like that. And then you've got right trigger to pedal, left trigger to brake, and that's it. So you're using the two sticks and then that's kind of how everything works in the air as well. So like you can lean in the air like this. So that's really helpful for jumping into berms like this. You can like jump into the berm and lean the bike at the angle of the berm. You can throw the bike around. If you put the sticks opposite directions, it kind of almost looks like you're doing a table. That's how the controls work. Logan says this game should be free. That's not really how... I mean, there's 4 of us making this game. We're a small indie team. We put all our savings into this thing. It's going to cost us hundreds of thousands and into the millions of dollars to make this game. So making it completely for free would mean we just spent millions of our own money and have nothing to show for it. So I don't think that would work out so well for us.
Finn says he's seen so much progress since you last joined. Glad to have you back, Finn. And I'm glad to see that you are noticing how hard the team is working. Because they are definitely producing a lot of updates and a lot of changes in this game quickly, for sure.
Yeah. Spider asked, will there be different maps? I could talk about that. And also Logan asked, will it ever be free? No, it'll never be free. There will be a free demo at some point, but the full game will never be free. We can talk in detail about free-to-play games if you want in a little bit. If you're interested, I can kind of share that. But let me talk about the map and answer your question about multiple maps. We're working on 1 map for initial launch, maybe 2 if we can get the time. But these maps take us a ton of time. They're huge. This is like a 6x6 kilometer map. It'll have about 40 trails. In the end, it's going to have a bunch of bike lifts. It's going to have a little town down here with, you know, bike shop where you go in and customize your bike and get new gear. Might have a coffee shop, thanks to Aaron's idea, where you could go hang out with friends, meet up with people to play with. It's going to take a lot of time and money to make these maps. They're going to be massive. We're basically trying to recreate what it's like to be at a real life bike park, kind of hanging out, riding with your friends, wandering around, exploring the place. So we will do multiple maps, but the initial release might only have one map. If we can do 2 maps, that'd be great. But the plan is in the future, we'll spend a lot of time and make more of these kind of replicate a feeling of a bike park into new maps that are in new biomes. So this one is kind of foresty. Maybe we do a desert one. Maybe we do an urban one. We release those in the future. So that's kind of the plan for that. Probably missed a bunch of questions.
Alec, we are not partnered with Fox. I mean, we are with Mad Skills Motocross, which is a mobile game that Joe and I have worked on for a long time as well. This is just a placeholder from the Unity store currently, so it's just like a temporary rider. But, you know, I know some people at Fox, and we've worked with them before, and we'd like to work with them again.
Someone, Aiden, said, did y'all get inspiration from that one bike game? I don't know the name. I mean, I'll say we get inspiration from every bike game. I've played every popular mountain bike, motocross, BMX video game that's on the market. I play them all, you know, sometimes for work, but also because I just like these kind of games. So I would say me playing all of these games since, you know, probably the 90s. When did Dave Mira's game come out? 2000, I think. So I've been playing these games for over 25 years. So I think I've probably... Ooh, that root jacked me up. Should have crashed. We're working on that stuff too. I've taken inspiration from all those games. You learn things of what to do in those games. You learn what not to do in those games. And I think from all the years of playing them all, I've kind of had my dream idea of what my perfect mountain bike game would be. And that's kind of what we're trying to work on here.
That's what I was going to say, is inspiration kind of works 2 ways. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I like how this game did this thing. And other times you see something in a game and you specifically want something very different than that. But it's still inspiration, I guess, even if it inspires you to do something different.
Yeah. Robert666, do you actually ride? I do ride. I've been riding bikes basically my whole life. Started on BMX when I was maybe 10ish. I don't know. Yeah, rode BMX a long time, still do a little bit. Now I ride mountain bikes for the last 15, 20 years, something like that.
I want to send a quick shout out to I Love L, who's been rocking the #1 spot on TikTok for quite some time, hanging out with us. Appreciate that very much. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Can the prototype be free? Let's talk about that. And then I want to head over and see what YouTube's talking about. But can the prototype be free? No, we're going to have a free demo. But the reason the prototype can't be free is because we tried to do this the traditional way, where you go pitch to publishers. You get a publisher to give you a couple $1,000,000, and they say, hey, go make your game. We'll help you with it. Here's the money. And then they take, you know, typically 50% cut of whatever you made in return of them helping you and giving you all that money. So we tried to do that, and we went and pitched a bunch of publishers, and you know, dozens and dozens of publishers turned us down and said, no thanks. Mountain biking's too niche. This game probably won't make enough money for us. You're on your own. So instead of canceling the project, we decided to kind of fund it ourselves, put our own money into it, and do this thing self-published in an indie way. So we've put our own savings into this thing, but unfortunately all of our own savings isn't enough to make the full game, which is why we're using Patreon. So if you want to help the development of this game, help us make it better, the more money we raise on Patreon, the bigger the better this game will be. So that's why we're not doing free prototypes. You know, you can get it for $5, which is almost next to free. You know, you could probably go beg on the street corner for 30 minutes once a month and earn $5 if you really wanted to. So that's why it's not free. You know, we need help developing this game and taking it to the finish line. We want your guys' input and your support. So if you want to get involved and you kind of jive with that idea, get involved. If not, you can wait for the free demo on Steam and you can try it out that way. High speed Manny. Boop. Into cash roll. Just kidding. Into a tree. Oh, show your crooked wrist. Which one? My real one? Let's see. Let's see if this works. It's hard to tell, but I do have a very crooked wrist. There's a I don't know. There's a huge bump right here, massive scar, 7 screws, a couple plates, or plate, bone grafts. I screwed it up mountain biking. Yep. When is
I
it
broke
available?
2 of my fingers in half. Go ahead, Joe.
Someone's spamming chat. Finn, when is it available and where? You can play it now. Not quite the build I have, but a build a little bit less buggy than this build. That doesn't have third person. But you can play it now on Patreon. If you go to our Patreon account, go to Patreon, just search for Cranked, or you could find the link in the bio. But if you join for $5 or more on Patreon, you'll immediately get a link to download the game on itch.io. And you can download it there. For $5 a month, you get access to all the builds we release during the month. If you cancel your subscription, you still get to keep the builds you downloaded that month. Typically, we release 2 to 4 per month. So if you want to start playing now on Mac or PC, you can get it on the Patreon. It is on Windows or Mac right now. And we're using Unity to build this game, Ryan. Go ahead. What about your broken fingers?
Welcome to the YouTube, Nigel. He says when he boots up the open world map now, puts him on the other side of the mountain where there are a few new trails, Joe.
Yeah, that was on purpose.
No, I was just going to say, when you were talking about breaking your wrist mountain biking, I was going to kind of brag that I broke my fingers in half when I was in the 6th grade playing Spin the Bottle. I bet you don't have that story.
Spin the bottle. That's good.
That's right, boy.
How do you break your fingers playing Spin the Bottle?
Well, when I was in 6th grade, we didn't have cell phones, so we just kissed girls, basically. That's what we did.
I mean, I didn't have cell phones either. I remember playing
because
Tony Hawk's
it
Pro
ensued
Skater.
in a little. We were playing Spin the Bottle, and a little fun chase ensued, and it was a little bit wet, and I slipped and fell off the wall. Snapped my finger. My 2 fingers, like these. No, it was my right hand. These 2 fingers were broken and kind of in half, like you could see the bone sticking out of one of them. And I went up to the mom of the girl whose house I was at, and I was like, "Mrs. Ross, I just broke my finger," and she was like, "Oh, quit!" And she reached out and grabbed my finger, and at that point, things got real.
That's funny.
That was not so fun. Yeah, it wasn't the best.
I have memories of playing the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater demo and playing Truth or Dare at the same time in a neighbor's house. That was good times.
We have a question on TikTok I want to kind of call attention to while you're still in the call. I hope you're here. TOPQ, a lot of letters. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that. This person asks, is it suitable for disabled people? Now, we're at a very early prototype stage, so we've still just been focusing mostly on the physics and so forth. But we think a lot about the decisions we need to make down the line. And I would say at this point, if you can use a control, you would have to be able to use a controller and see the screen in order to play it at this point, for the most part.
At this point, yeah. I mean, in the future, I'd love to like hook up with, I know there's like nonprofits that help take games and turn them into, there's all those like accessibility controllers that all the companies make and all that. So I'd love to get that incorporated at some point in time, but it's not a high priority for us at this early stage. Kind of got to finish out the game first, I think, and then work on that kind of stuff.
That said, T-Op, if you happen to join our Discord and are willing to talk to us about the types of needs we need to make sure we're thinking about and considering to make this game as playable for you and others as possible, it would be really valuable to us. So I invite you to join us on our Discord and open up that conversation, and Joe and I both would love to have the conversation with you. Thanks for bringing it up.
Jim, is it going to be only racing or will there be jump lines? I mean, I'm playing a bunch of jump lines kind of, aren't I? Yeah. No, it'll be both. We want it to be like half, I don't know. We want it to be half about racing, half about exploration. So there's going to be a lot of just fun hanging out, finding new lines. That's what lately, honestly, in the last build, it seems like the community's been more into kind of free riding, because this section right here that Antgrass just made, there's like 3 or 4 trails that all are super close to each other. So it opens up all these like fun transfer lines. Sorry, the drone is kind of annoying and I can't point it down. We need to work on the drone, but a lot of fun transfer kind of free ride lines in this area, which makes it super fun. But we'll have both, so it's kind of up to the player to determine how they want to play the game. It's going to be open mountain, so it's up to you, man. You want to go to the top and find a race and race times on the leaderboards, or do you just want to cruise and have fun, complete some like free ride challenges, or hop in with your buddies and do stuff? It's kind of up to you and what you want to do. Will there be right or left foot forward setting? Yeah, of course there will be. Alec asked how many hours I have in the game. I have no idea. We don't keep track, but I mean, if I had to estimate, I don't know. We've been working on it 5 or 6 months, and I probably play, how many hours a week do I probably play? At least 25. So what's like 6 times 4 times 25? 25 times 25. I don't know. I'm not good at math. Lots of hours. Lots of
Nipa
hours.
asks, what guitar is that in the background? I guess you could be talking to either of us since we both have guitars in the background, but you're probably asking Joe, I'm guessing. So, Joe, what's your guitar in the background? You have two of them.
One's like a Fender Telecaster player, whatever, the one that's made in Mexico. And the other one is just like a cheap Gretsch. I don't know, some like $500 Gretsch. I don't know the models. I'm not like a gear guy. You guys probably asked one. Someone asked, they wanted me to do like a bike breakdown on my bikes, and I'm like, I don't know what I'd tell you. Like, I just buy a bike and I don't care. it rides, and then I don't know. I've never been one to like care too much about gear and stuff. In some aspects of my life, sometimes I care, but.
Some questions about Descenders. Before the stream started today, Joe pinned a post to the top of our TikTok profile that talks about how we're different than other games. I encourage you to watch that. In the past, we've tried to answer these questions a lot, but it ends up dominating the stream, so we're kind of not putting a whole lot of time into that. But if you check out, our profile on TikTok, you'll see it pinned at the top. Or if you check out, there's a good video on YouTube made by Brent Goes Fast, who was with us in the YouTube channel today. I don't know if he's still here. Where he compares Descenders and Crank, and you can watch that, and you'll get an idea what we're going for. It's a very, very different game feel, and when we actually finish all the art, it's going to look a lot different too. So we're just very early at this point.
We need to tell Zach that the time gates are floating. I don't know if he knows that. Guys, ignore the wrists. Those are bugged right now in this build, but I wanted to show you guys third person, so we got to deal with broken wrists today.
I'm going to answer Braden on TikTok. Thanks for the question, Braden. I'm glad you're hanging out with us. He wants to know, and I've answered this before, but I feel strongly about it, so I'm going to answer it again. He says, what would you recommend to somebody who wants to get into game design? There's a lot of ways you can do it. To me, one of the best opportunities, especially if you stumbled onto us here, is to come to the Discord and hang out, because we're developing this thing in public, and Joe talks about his game design decisions in public. We have debates there. We really go into detail. It's a great way to kind of learn the process of making games, because we're doing this thing and we're not really holding anything back. We talk about everything. So that, to me, is the best immediate thing you can do, is just hang out with Joe in Discord. Super helpful.
I want to throw a question over to YouTube, because YouTube is more where kind of our core community hangs out. But what do you guys want me to do on the stream, or what questions do you have? You want to see racing? You want to see free ride? You want me to try to find some new gaps? Do you want me to answer some design related questions? Obviously, you guys on TikTok can answer too, but I feel like a lot of times TikTok, I mean, I know for sure by looking at the analytics, TikTok, you guys don't watch very long. You guys hop in for a minute or two and then you're out. So the people who hang out with us for 3 hours every week, let me know what you're looking to see. What do you want us to talk about? Ask us questions. I kind of want to give you guys some juicy content today.
Well, let's give currently Nate some practical content, though. He wants to know how to change his username. When you get a chance, can you kind of demonstrate how you can change your username in the game, Joe?
Yep, I'll show you after this race run, which isn't a great race run, but it's a race run.
Joe, whoa, thank you for the follow on TikTok, Joe. Appreciate it, man. And Finaldo as well. Thank you so much for the follow. Also some shares. Thank you for the shares. It really helps when you guys share our live stream. We're trying to kind of get out there and help other people discover us, and these shares really help. So thank you.
We're in the
so
green,
much.
guys. We got it into the green.
J4M3 SMTB, thank you for the follow.
Someone said you should make the physics like MX bikes. I mean, it's a mountain bike game that's a motocross game, so obviously we can't make the physics like MX bikes. It's a whole different sport, but I will say the controls are similar. Cranked is way easier to learn than MX bikes. I think MX bikes, we're focused on accessibility is a big deal for us, so we want this game to be easy to learn but hard to master with a lot of skill gap and skill depth, which we've already kind of got. So I would say it's a similar vibe to MX bikes. Some players have said it feels similar to MX bikes, almost like MX bikes mixed with Descenders, but it's a different game, more easier to learn. Controls are similar. If you're into MX bikes, you'd probably be into this.
Talon understandably asks on TikTok, welcome Talon, thanks for hanging out. Are the graphics still a work in progress, or is this a final product? There's so much a work in progress that the only thing that's final is the bike. Almost everything you see in the environment is placeholder. We're less than 6 months into this thing, so it's very, very early. But we have put a lot of time into the bike. It's pretty close now. I know Maggie has some finishing touches. She's working on the rider next. And once we're going to do the female rider first, and then we'll do a male rider after that, and then I think she'll focus more on the environment. Some of the other assets you see are Guy Oliver and our community made for us, and we have them in the game right now. And you know, I don't know if those are final at this point or not, but they look great. They look way better than what we had in there now, and they look really good. So we have those in the game at this point. But I haven't even talked to Maggie about that yet, so I don't know how she's feeling about the future of things like timing gates, etc.
There you go. I'll show you guys the leaderboards now, and then I'll show you how to change your username. But there we go. We just got a new time. Wait a second. It says I got a 426, but the leaderboard says a 425. So I don't know what's going on there.
Zello says for 6 months, this is really good. If you haven't played it yet, Zello, I encourage you to play it because honestly, I agree. I think it looks good for 6 months, but I think it plays even better for 6 months. So I encourage you to check it out. Somebody asked, how do you get the game? If you look on the screen right now, when Joe's, well, looks like our...
you got one thing at a time, Brian. You asked me to show how to change username, which I'm trying to do.
That's all good.
If you go to the change map screen up in the top right, there's this little edit button. You can use that. You can type in your name here.
There you go.
Hit validate, and then when you load back into the game, you will have a change username.
Puts a unique identifier after that. That's what the 4 digits are. So,
all right, I wanted to go to YouTube and see. I asked you guys to ask some juicy questions. Let's see what we got. Will you extend the arms in first person, Nigel asked? Yeah, this dude's all placeholder. Oscar, no questions. Found the game too much to have any, but answer to a question you would want to be asked by a random guy watching. Okay, what is this? Show some free red lines. I know you got them. Okay. Any intention in adding achievements? Yes, we'll have achievements and challenges and all kinds of stuff. On those section checkpoints, how will we know what the boundary is with only one marker? There is no boundary. I have to start a race for you to see them. Hold on. The boundaries are the yellow gates. You have to always go within the yellow gates. So if you look at this thing right here, you just have to pass this area and you're going to get a timing, like you'll see your split time, but you just have to go through the gates before and after. So like you're going to have to go through these gates and then you've got to go through these gates. And if you miss either of those gates, you're out of bounds. But this one, there is no out of bounds. This is how they do it in the real world. Downhill, they've just got the one side of the timing gate. And that's just kind of showing you when the time, you know, when the split times are going to show up. But these are the ones that are actually the off-track markers. What else? I guess that's all YouTube gave me.
Unknown on TikTok asks, does the game ever feel overwhelming to make? That's an interesting question, Unknown. I don't think anybody's asked us that one yet.
Yeah, free red lines.
Do you ever feel overwhelmed, Joe? Responding to comments on social media, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes I guess it gets a little overwhelming, but you know, there's a lot of work. I'm trying to find my free red spot. Oh, it's back here. There's a lot of work to do, but I think more than anything, it's just fun. Like this is kind of my passion. This is what I love doing. Finally get to make my dream game. I've been working in video games for like 13 years, but it's the first time I'm kind of fully in charge and kind of have a team that's trying to work on this vision I've been dreaming of for a long time. So for me, it's mostly having fun right now. It's not super overwhelming. There's times when things get overwhelming, but I don't know. Just take it a day at a time.
Orion is asking, how are you going to be able to earn, get, buy cosmetics in the game? You can already earn cosmetics in the game if you pay attention to our Cranked Collabs series. We've had 2 drops in the Cranked Collabs thing that we do, and we'll do more. And it's an opportunity to sort of reserve free in-game t-shirts that you'll have that you can rock later, and you won't be able to get them again after their initial 72-hour drops. So if you don't know about that and you are on TikTok, maybe give us a follow, and the next time we do a drop, you'll know about it. But also we'll do more cosmetics in the future. And Joe, you want to talk at all about your vision for how that's going to work and
yeah, I think
how people can accumulate them?
Yeah, I think what we learned spending a lot of years making Mad Skills games is that people prefer to unlock things like achievement or challenge based than they do economy based. seems like most people don't really love having an in-game economy where you got to earn money and you could buy stuff with real money, and instead it's more fun to like complete a bunch of challenges and earn them that way. So that's the idea, is that we're going to go for more of like a challenge-based system where as you kind of progress, you level up, you unlock new secrets, and you find things. Maybe you just are exploring in the woods and you stumble upon a new bike up against a tree, and it's like, boom, now you've earned that bike, you know? So I think we're going to try to make unlocking new things as fun as possible and not make it about like how much money you've spent in the game and things like that. There won't even be an in-game economy in this game.
Nisa asks, wait, is this a Swedish game? He saw the one of the track names. We are part of Turborilla. We are some of the OG crew from Turborilla who made Mad Skills Motocross and Mad Skills BMX. If you know those games, is a Swedish game studio. So our game developer is French. Our programmer rather is French, but he lives in Sweden, and our artist is Swedish, and another dev who worked on the game for a while is Swedish. So we just have Swedish roots. That's why the maps on the tracks on the prototype map were named with Swedish words. I don't think that'll be the case in the final map that we ship.
Trying to find my free ride spot. Go ahead.
Brady just asked, did you spend a lot of time on the prototype maps, and did you specifically focus on certain things? I mean, this, you know, our track builder, Antgrass, is the one who's built most of these trails on this map. And I know he crafts every one carefully. He really puts a lot of time into trying to make sure that they flow great, and that everything he builds is epic. He's got a lot of pride in his work, which is why the trails that he builds are so good. But do you have anything to add to that, Joe, as far as how much time and energy went into building those trails on the prototype map?
Yeah, this is the prototype map. There's really this like fifth secret hidden trail is just something Zach carved out real quick, but there's like 3 main trails, one like 3.5 kind of. I don't know. This probably took Antgrass. I think maybe he had a month to make all these, and then I think Maggie came in here within 2 weeks, did all the art. So, you know, a month and a half of working hours for total was about how long this prototype map took. Kind of threw it together quickly to get it into publishers' hands so they could play it, see if they wanted to give us money. That was the idea.
Joe, the streaming overlay is off right now, FYI.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Thanks, guys.
No worries. Gage Tuna wants to know any idea when collab number 3 is going to drop. No, you know what? I have a couple ideas, but I'm going to El Paso in a few days anyway, so I just thought Joe and I would kind of talk it through together. We have an agenda that we're working on, the things that we'll tackle while we're there, and just kind of figuring out who number 3 is the key. I'm still trying to finalize the portal. Got some help from Makai this week who gave me some really good feedback on it, and I've been working on kind of making it functionally. It's working now, but I'm just trying to make it, I guess, present in a more logical way. But we're getting close, and the portal will be ready for the 3rd drop. So by the time we have the 3rd Crank collab drop, there'll be a much better way to claim it. You'll be able to get a receipt for it, that type of stuff.
All right,
Chaos, the land. I'll go ahead, Joe.
I'll just say a lot of questions popping in TikTok. I don't know if you want to just run down them and we'll answer.
Yeah, I'm just about to hit one right now. Wants to know, will there be a ranked system where you can compete a downhill trail and put you on a leaderboard? There certainly already is, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I mean, you do have. Let me switch the overlay that I'll forget about. But we do have global leaderboards here, so you can see these are all the different tracks, and you can see, you can flip through all the different pages. So you can see everyone in the whole game here. This one has 129 different pages of people. But in the future, we do hope to have like a proper ranked mode, and I'd love to have like a track of the week, and then you can like practice, qualify, and then there's finals. Kind of mimic what real UCI like World Cup riding is all about, and have a mode kind of based on that. That's the plan. But that kind of stuff will come later after 1.0, like, or maybe in 1.0, kind of like the final version. So we'll see. Next question.
Let's answer Alex's question on TikTok as well, because he's been hanging with us for a while, and he's asked this, and we haven't gotten to it yet. He's asking about different surfaces like loam, etc. You want to talk about your feelings there, Joe?
Yeah, we've actually got a plan for it. We haven't done it yet. I think the only 2 surfaces, man, I was hoping to hit that. I don't think I can. Too much G-force. The only 2 surfaces I think that are like in the game right now are the grass. It's like a little more slippery, and then dirt, which is a little more grippy. But we do hope to have like loam and like tarmac, rock, wet stuff. Yeah, so we'll, especially loam. So we have plans for that, but we just haven't gotten around to doing the physics for all those yet.
Right on. Brody says practically Descenders. Anybody who feels that way, I encourage you to watch the video pinned to the top of our TikTok profile. You'll see there's a very significant difference. We're a prototype at this point, so what you're seeing right now is kind of under the hood in the very early days. So if you kind of give us enough time to actually develop the game, and you'll see where we're taking it. Eventually, I don't think you'll feel that way, but for now, you can watch the video Joe posted to the top of our profile on TikTok, and he talks about that.
Alec, is there going to be seasons? Do you mean like seasons, like weather seasons in the environment, or do you mean seasons like season pass type stuff? Season passes are cool. They take a lot of, weather seasons. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'd love to do that, actually. I think Maggie would love having fun making seasons as well. So that'd be cool. We do have kind of like a rough idea for how, I don't know. I've got this kind of weird idea for how time could work in the game. And I think it could be incorporated with seasons as well, which I think could be really fun. So I'd love to do it if we can make it happen. It would be probably a little difficult though, because, well, first of all, what are you gonna do in winter? Like we can't just have it be all snow everywhere. So most bike parks close in the winter, so we can't like have the game closed for, so we'd have to figure out there'd be some design things we'd have to kind of figure out, but it would be cool. Do you plan on
Pablito asks.
Yeah,
go ahead, Joe.
I was about to say the thing. Do you plan on making technical rock gardens well textured? So we can go show you some technical rock gardens. The thing that we're focusing on that I think other games have failed, Brady, I'll get your question about losing motivation too. I've seen it a few times. But I think other games, I mean, if you go play any of the other games and really focus on the trail itself and like the textures, you'll notice they're very smooth. The textures might look rough, but the actual riding surface is very smooth. And I think it's because the physics don't allow for rough textures and rough riding and tech riding and the kind of how mountain bike riding actually is. Like mountain bike riding is not always on a smooth surface. It's very rough and rocky. So with Crank, that's one thing we're really leaning into, is making sure rough, rocky terrain is actually rideable and is fun and kind of simulates what riding rough, rocky terrain in real life feels like. So this trail, sorry, I'm trying to get to some of the more rock gardens. So yeah, we all these rocks are actual rocks with textures and meshes, and there's roots and all kinds of things. So the art style is placeholder still, but yeah, we're definitely heavily focused on making tech riding feel good and somewhat realistic. At the end of the day, we want this game to be fun. So, we're not going for like hyper realism here, but tech riding needs to be a thing, because without it, it's not really mountain biking in my opinion.
Unknown Cars, thanks for the follow. Bresky, kind of beat. We're a prototype months into development, and we decided early to release it early so people could see what we're building. So what you're seeing is a very, very unfinished product, for what that's worth.
Brady, let me answer you. He says, do you ever lose motivation? Every time I start a project, I feel like a few weeks in, I lose motivation. I mean, I think motivation kind of comes and goes, right? I think that's a natural thing. You might lose motivation. Maybe you need to step away for a little bit. But I haven't lost motivation in this, and I think as long, it's a little easier for me too. I'm not the only one working on it. I've got a whole team of people behind me, but it also helps when you put hundreds of thousands of dollars of you and your friends' money into a bank account to make this thing happen. You can't just be like, I'm over it, guys. I'm moving on to something else. So, but I haven't lost motivation. I'm highly motivated. I mean, this is my dream, man. This is like my passion. This is what I want to be doing with my spare time. I probably work on this game 12 to 14 hours a day, mostly because it's my choice and I want to do it and I'm having fun doing it. So for me, I haven't lost motivation yet. Maybe the day will come, but hasn't happened.
It's a fair question though, because it's going to take fortitude to get this thing across the finish line. We put a lot of energy into this because we do it all so publicly, and I think over time that's going to we're going to feel that a little bit. So I think we'll lean into each other, into our team, and so forth to make sure that we're getting through it all. But we'll have to be mindful of it and make sure that we don't allow that to happen. So far, things have gone quite well. So far, most of any criticism we see tends to come from people who haven't actually played it, but we haven't heard a ton from people who are playing it, and that makes it super easy to stay motivated. If we have some missteps along the way or hit some challenges that are harder to solve, and we start taking heat for that, which could happen, I think that'll be a challenge that we have to deal with.
But Brady,
Man, we're
oh,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Joe.
Brian.
I was just gonna say we dictated the terms of what we're building here. Like we're the ones who came up with what we want to do, and it's Joe's vision, and we came up with our guardrails and what our our pillars are, how we're going to do this. So it's easier to not lose motivation when you're doing it your way than I think if you're trying to follow somebody else's vision of something. That might help as well.
The other thing I was going to say, Brady, is if you're, I don't know how many games you've made or how many games you've started, but I think, you know, every game you make, it's going to be a little better than the last. So if you kind of lose motivation on one project, you know, just tidy it up, finish it up, you know, and move on to the next one, and move on to something you are more motivated to, because the things you learn from the first project will carry over into the second one, and then the second one will carry over into the third one, and you know, so if you get sick of something and you're not feeling it, you know, move on. That's my opinion. The movement looks bad, says MTB Yorn. Yeah, the movement's mostly actually all placeholder. So let me go back up to the top. You can see the only thing in this game that isn't placeholder is the bike. We just got this new bike in. It's the Frameworks bike. So the bike looks sick. The rider's completely placeholder. It's a Unity asset that is very rigid and doesn't allow us to do the things we need to do, like movement wise. So Maggie, our artist, is actually right now working on the new rider. She's been working on it this week. So once that new rider gets in there, then we can change the body position, the animations, and all of those things to make the movement actually look good.
Yeah, if anybody's watching and this doesn't seem like it's your bag at this point, or you know, you're not interested in seeing a game in the very early stages like this, consider giving us a follow. You know, maybe down the line you'll end up seeing where we're going with it, and when we release a free demo, you can just try it. You'll see how different it is than anything else if you get the opportunity to play. You really wouldn't be able to judge this game without playing it at this point. Playing it is kind of the proof in the pudding, I think. So, you know. And check it out on Patreon if you want, or just follow us and check it out later when we have a free version you can play.
Yeah, and this version I'm playing today is not released to the Patreon yet, but it's mostly because it's buggy. Like if you notice the wrists when I bend down, basically snap. So this one's kind of buggy and does look more janky than usual. So forgive us, but we like to share the jank with you guys because we're trying to make this thing in the open.
I like this post, this comment from Buddha Fist Builds. It says, is it possible to add in something like a hall of meat for crashes? Showing broken bones and stuff, or some sort of a celebration of epic.
That's what Skate did.
Wipeouts.
Yeah.
Oh, is that in Skate 4 now?
It was in Skate 3, I think. I don't think it's in the new
3.
Skate.
Okay. Lana wants to know how many people we have working on it. We have 4 people working on it full time, and we are, from beginning to end, we're about 6 months in, but we had to take about 6 weeks off, I think, during that, something like that. We had to pause the project for a while, really. So maybe, yeah, so 4 months of development maybe on the game. We are currently pre-alpha technically. We're past the prototype stage. We're pre-alpha. 4 people working on it, and a total of work time about 4 months for those 4 people. And then a few of us, like myself, are not on staff, but we help with certain things.
Goose Fraba, any slow tech stuff in the works? I'll show you the one trail we have that's probably the slowest techie trail. It's a little side shoot of this trail. It's pretty fun.
What's up, Goose? While
Brian runs down some more questions.
Goose has been around, man. It's good to see you back again for sure. Yeah, I'll check out the TikTok side. We've got some more. Dansk on YouTube did ask how the graphics will be changed in the future, and why is this game better than the other mountain bike games? That's a question we usually get on the TikTok side of things, not so much on the YouTube side, so that's a little bit different for YouTube. But how the graphics will be changed in the future, just drastically, because it's almost all placeholder at this point. It's almost all Unity assets, just stuff that we snagged to build this prototype, because we've been focusing on bike movement, physics, and trail building. So it's just going to get better, you know. The graphics, they're going to stay cozy, and they're going to stay stylized. And the stream just ended.
What?
I don't know. That's what I got. I just got a stream just ended on my Discord.
My stream. Oh, that's just this. Not the actual stream.
Oh, okay.
But hold on, let me fix it.
I think we are back.
Quest. Get out of here. What is this trash?
Nice.
Hide this.
Solved it.
There we go. That was just
Cool. Thanks, Aaron, for
Discord.
the heads up. All good. All good. And then as far as how we compare it against to the other games, it's a question we answer a lot. We have a video on our YouTube or on our TikTok that we kind of talk about that a little bit. Joe, do you want to talk about it a little bit? We really haven't talked about it too much other than referencing people in this one. So we'll answer the question for anybody who is feeling that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest difference between us and all the mountain bike competitors is that we're focusing on trying to replicate what real mountain bike riding is like. I've been mountain biking almost my whole life here, like, you know, long time. And I never play any of the mountain bike games and think, oh, this captures the feeling and the essence of when I'm riding my mountain bike. I feel like they're all too kind of sterile and kind of numb, and the trails are very smooth and they're big flowy jump lines and all that kind of stuff. But when I'm riding my bike, I'm riding it on the kind of trail you see right now, where it's rough and it's rocky and there's roots and there's tech, and all this kind of stuff affects you. And I feel like the other games, I know the other games don't do it. If you really pay attention when you're playing those other games, at the textures and the terrain, it's always very smooth. It might look rough, but it's really not rough. Except for like there's some mod maps where they try to make it rough, but the physics don't work super great with it. And so that's one of the big ones, is our emphasis on tech. Whoop, right there. See, I hit that root wrong. Should have crashed, but it's still kind of bugged. So all this stuff does affect you, as you can see me riding through it. That's the big one with the physics, but also the game is a lot more grippy and responsive than games like Descenders. Descenders I always thought was very slippery, unrealistically slippery. I've never ridden a mountain bike that was as slippery as that game. So it's more grippy and responsive, and you feel more in control, and it reacts to you quicker than in Descenders. And then, you know, all the other stuff about like the meta game and the kind of modes you want to have and how it's going to be open world. And I want to put a FPV drone mode in here, and we want to have like a UCI replica kind of series in here. And we, you know, a lot of things that other games haven't done that I think the mountain bike community would love. And a trail building mode, for example. So, you know, trying to, you know, take all the things that I've always dreamed about and that I think other games are lacking, and put it into Cranked.
Some big thanks to a bunch of followers on TikTok, Fernando and Storm. Appreciate you guys following us. SWZ and Board Jude. Board Jude had a question for us too. He said, it was actually a comment. He says, I like how you guys are actually putting in work and effort and not some cash grab act. You know, I want to talk about that a little bit, because we have experience making games. You know, Joe and I have been making video games for many years. We made the Mad Skills games. Very proud of Mad Skills Motocross and Mad Skills BMX. I think they're great mobile games. I think Mad Skills Motocross is probably the best mobile racing game ever. Certainly the best mobile racing physic ever, in my opinion. But what we found during that process, people like to make games in different ways. Joe and I are of the sort of on the side of things that we just want to make it fun. Like when we try to figure out how to make something commercially successful, it's just not our strength. I don't know that world. I don't know how to chase data and KPI and make decisions like that. It's just not the way that I work, and it's not the way Joe works. All the best successes I've ever had in my career were when I just focused on trying to make things as good as they can be, and I did not focus on how am I going to make money off of this thing. Anytime I ever thought, how do we make this a better business thing? It never worked. When we just said, how do we make it awesome? That worked. And then the business stuff worked itself out. So that's the way I would respond to that, Board Jude, is we just don't really, we think the best policy and really a cornerstone of everything we're doing here is make this the best possible game that we can make it, and let everything else work itself out. That's what we're trying to do. So thank you for recognizing that, man. It means a lot.
You should make super sharp berms. I'll show you that in a second. We got some super sharp berms.
Tino says the gameplay seems too easy. Yeah, man. I'd love you to try it sometime, and let's see how close to the top of the leaderboard you can get. If you ever played Mad Skills Motocross, you'll know this dynamic. You look at it and it seems easy, but the skill depth is so deep that actually being fast at this game is crazy hard. It is pretty easy to just pick up the controller and for the first time feel like you have control of the bike. That's pretty easy, but actually being fast and skilled at the game is very, very difficult. So I encourage you to try it, man. See what you think.
You're also watching me play, who is the creator of this game, and I've played it more than anyone in the world. And typical with most sports, and the sport that I'm most into is climbing, the better the person is, the easier it looks. Like you take a pro climber on like the hardest climb in the world, and you're like, dude, that looks like I could do that. You know, because they make it look smooth and easy and nice. So if I put a noob in here, you might not say it looks super easy. It is easy to learn, but it is very hard to master. I mean, we could look at the leaderboards real quick. You know, I'm the developer here with a 202, and This tickle time's wrong, but the shooting time 153. So I'm getting smoked by what 9 seconds or something. Oh no, you can't see the time. Sorry. There we go. But I'm getting smoked by like 9 seconds. So the skill gap in this game is huge, and it is very hard to be fast.
Nipa on Slash. No, we probably will not do 2 different breaks. We understand the reality side of that and all that, and that some people are into that. But Joe, do you want to talk about your decision to stay away from doing 2 different breaks?
Yeah, I think the game is already. We really want the controls and everything to be simple, and the hard part of it should come from dialing in your lines, getting fast, learning the nuances of the physics, and not necessarily having to like figure out more controls. And we do have 2 breaks simulated in the game. Like there's 2 breaks working. Like I can endo and fall on my face if I want. So they're, like look, there's front brake right there. So it depends on how you're leaning. Like I can lean back in the same spot and brake, and now it's engaging my rear brake, or I can lean forward and brake in the same spot, and it's engaging the front brake. So you kind of can control which brake you're on by how you're leaning, which I think is a lot easier. And there's other design reasons why we didn't want to do 2 brakes, but I mean, even in MX bikes, like you look at, man, we got to fix that root bug. In MX bikes, I mean, half the pro players, I think, just combine the brakes anyway. So like, why put that feature in there when most people are going to combine it and make it one button anyway?
SB has a bit of a snarky comment. What was the budget for the game? $100. SB, I'm glad to see you're still here hanging out with us. You're looking at a pre-alpha game, or amount of work that's gone into this so far is a little over 4 months of work so far. But we're doing a develop in public type of a scenario where we just kind of we talk about everything we do and we show everything we do. And one of the byproducts of that is sometimes y'all hop in on TikTok or some other platforms and you see something quickly and maybe you feel like you're looking at a final product, but really you're just seeing like a work in progress very early. This game won't even be released globally for well over a year at this point. So stick with us, man. Follow us maybe and check out what we've got going down the line, and you kind of see what we have in store here. I think it's a pretty solid indie effort, self-funded by really passionate people who made games like this before, Mad Skills Motocross and Mad Skills BMX and so forth. And I think by the time, I think it's already a lot of fun if you give it a try. And if you don't, that's okay too. But I think you'll see over time that the game's going to develop more, and you'll understand what we're going for eventually.
Oh man,
is that a heater, Joe?
No, just I'm playing horribly today actually. But I have a bunch of questions I just saw that I do want to answer. I want to get to you, Brady. Did I go to school for game design, or is it just a hobby? I'm currently 15 with about 3 years of Unity experience, and I'm not sure what to do. That's a great question, and I can tell you my story of kind of how I got into this, and it's probably not what you expect actually. So I started out as an unpaid beta tester for Mad Skills BMX. The very first Mad Skills BMX came out with, they put me on the beta team, and I just busted my ass as a beta tester, really tried hard to give them the best feedback I could. And then eventually they released a level editor for beta testers, so I was able to make tracks for the game, and then they started paying me to make tracks, and one thing led to another, and I became the lead level designer, and then game designer and design director, and now 13 years later I've started our own studio, and we're working on this game. So my advice to you is that I don't necessarily think you need to go to school for it. If school comes around and you don't know what to study and that's your passion, maybe go to school for it. But I don't think you need to go to school for game design to get a good game design job. I do think the industry right now is hurting. And why can I not clear these jumps today? I feel like something changed. The industry is hurting a bit, and there's not as many jobs as there used to be. So it might be harder to get into it. But I think the best thing you could do is depends, like game design. Is that what you want to do, is be a game designer? Do you want to be a programmer? Do you want to be an artist? Like what part of the game design do you want to do? Because if it's actually building and making games, then I would say the best thing you can do is just work on your portfolio now. Start making a bunch of little games. Give yourself a deadline of, look, I want to spend 2 months on this little mini game, and that's it. After 2 months, I'm closing it down, and I'm going to work on the next one. And the next one, I'll give myself 3 months, and then work on a little mini game for 3 months. And the next one, and you just keep doing that, and eventually your games are going to get better and better, and soon enough you have a little bit of a portfolio, and then you can show that portfolio to people when you apply for jobs, in 5 years or whatever it is. So that'd be my recommendation. I don't think you have to go to school for it, but if you have the opportunity to go for school for it, you would definitely learn some things.
Number 2, it's a blank name, so I don't know how to refer to. Period. I'll say. When will the demo be out? We were thinking December. Maybe we'll have a free demo. we're trying to figure out kind of the best timing for it. We need some time to build it and get it ready, and we want to drop it at the right time. But I think right now, the last that we talked about it, we were talking about shooting for December. That's what we're thinking. Thank you for the follow. We've got some follows here. Sebastian, what's up, buddy? Seba's in the house.
Yo,
Good to
what up,
see you,
Seba?
man.
Michael Hodge is following up on what I was just talking about, but he said game dev degrees are useless. Mine is, at least. YouTube University is the way to go. So there you go. Michael Hodge is another game developer working on a motocross game. Follow him at LCQ Studios on social. Another guy just doing the thing his way, kind of indie style, the way we're doing it. And you know, man, my favorite games are the indie devs, sometimes the solo devs. That's where it's at. I would say find something you're passionate about in the game you want to make, and just slowly work on it. Especially if you're young, man. You're 15. Like, you got plenty of time to learn and get good.
Dinosaur is spamming the TikTok with a question I just don't understand, so I'm not sure how to answer it, man. You say, are you going off any game for the one you're making? Are you going off any game? I think you'll need to rephrase your question so I can understand what it is you're asking, Dinosaur. I encourage you to. Do you mean, are we like basing this on another game, or are we building it off of a previous game? What do you mean by that exactly? Smiley face, can you play this version? You can. If you look on your screen, you'll see where it says help support and playtest, patreon.com/crankedgame. If you join our Patreon, you can play every prototype we release. We release numerous prototypes, usually 2 to 4 per month, I would say is about what we normally do, Joe. Is that right?
Yeah, the exact
Something
one
like
I'm
that?
playing right now, you can't play yet. Like this exact one
Not
isn't
yet.
in there, but the one we released last week is up.
Right. And when will this one be released, do you think?
I think next week we'll probably do another build that has some of the stuff in it.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, you can play. And then if you support us on Patreon, it's like $5 a month is the lowest paid tier. That's when you get the prototype. You'll get whatever's available the moment you subscribe. And then you'll get any other builds that we do or updates over the course of the month that you subscribe, and you'll keep them for good. So you could subscribe for $5 for a month, cancel it after you install your build and play it, see what you think. If you like it, then you can continue to support us and resubscribe if you want. If you don't, you can, if you hate it and you think that it wasn't worth the $5, tell us and we'll refund it. We're not trying to take money from people who don't want to give it to us. We're looking for people who want to support an exciting project. So, if you give us a shot and you really think it was a waste of your money, just let us know and we'll make it right.
A lot of people in our YouTube chat agreeing that going to school for game design is definitely not necessary. So there's your answer. Here's some of the tight berms one of you guys are asking. There's a couple tight ones here, and then down the trail a little bit, we'll get to another S-turn where they're even tighter. Yeah, I definitely want Antgrass to make... Antgrass, if you're here, I think one of the 3 beginner trails should have some really slow, fun, very tight S-turn kind of berm things. Almost like that one Whistler... I think it's like a Whistler blue or green trail that has like... In the middle of a forest, there's just like these really sick switchbacks that are very tight. I think something like that would be good to teach the player turning. So we should get on that.
Colton on TikTok says, y'all should make a motocross game. We did, man. We made Mad Skills Motocross. If you're a motocross person, you know our game Mad Skills Motocross. So yeah, that's the first video game either of us... Actually, the first video game Joe had anything to do with was Mad Skills BMX, but the first video game I had anything to do with was Mad Skills Motocross. I come from the motocross world. I could see us working with Hodge maybe one day, or helping support his project if we can ever figure out a way to do that in a way that works for him. And but there's a guy in our YouTube chat right now, Hodge with LCQ Studios, and he's already working on a killer motocross game for PC. So
I blew the sharp turn. Let me try again. Yeah, at this point, I would never want to release a motocross game as long as Hodge is working on one. I would either try to work with him, and if he didn't want to work with me, I wouldn't make one because I don't want to be competing with him. That's the truth.
Tom says, game looks great. Anything that makes it stand out from game Descenders? This is on TikTok. Yeah, Tom, a lot of things. We pinned a post at the top of our TikTok profile where we go into this because we get the question so often and it's so different. So if it's something you really like to know about, I encourage you to check out our profile on TikTok and watch the pinned post. You'll see what we have in mind. Also, you can watch the one that Brent Goes Fast did on YouTube that was titled Cranked versus Descenders. It's a third person, it's like an independent person talking about what he likes about both games, and you'll get an idea what's so different about ours there.
Fergus Losses, how long have you been working on this? It's going on 6 months now or so. And that guy said, I hope Descender sues you. I don't know how they could sue us, but thanks, man. I'm glad you're wishing harm on us. So appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by, supporting the project.
What did he say? What did he say?
He wishes Descenders would sue us.
Oh,
If you could just sue someone for making a game in the exact same genre, that means we'd have one game of every genre. That sounds like a fun world to live in, dude.
You Don't Know Live, thanks for following us. And Turkaboy, thank you for following us. Very much appreciate that. Very much. One S52C wants to see the old man play. Obviously, you're talking about me, and you don't want to see me play. Trust me, that's not something you want to see.
Is it a controller game or keyboard game? We highly recommend you play on controller. We do have some keyboard controls, but I don't think it's great. So I would say controller is where it's at. But if we can find a way to make keyboard controls good, we will. We need more like keyboard players to help us test that stuff, because I'm not the player to be testing keyboard controls for a game like this. I've never played a game like this on keyboard, and I don't think you ever should, really.
Alex says he's played Descenders for 500 hours, and Crank really is very different to actually play.
So there you go.
Yeah. Maz says people are so disrespectful. I think it's a anonymity of social media and the internet type of a thing. My guess is the people who kind of come in and wish pain on us. It doesn't happen too often, but we've had it happen a couple times here today. My guess is if they met us in person, they would not be that way or not feel that way. It's just my guess. It's a little bit easier when, you just kind of pop in and sound off and then pop out like that. There's an anonymity to that I think makes people, I don't know, impatient and sometimes, that way, I guess. Try not to take it personally.
Oh, dude, we got to session this spot real quick. Now that we got third person, I got to session my favorite spot. If I can find where I'm going. Here we go. I'm gonna look through chat real fast, you guys. I want to make sure I'm answering your guys' questions.
Maz, thanks for the follow, Maz, on TikTok. Appreciate it, man.
Is it free? No, it's not free. It's $5 on Patreon right now if you want to play early for PC or Mac. We're using Patreon to raise more funds for production so that we can make this game bigger and better. Since we're self-funded, we couldn't find a publisher to fund it. So if you want to play now, $5 on Patreon. What place on the map is that? I don't know where I was when you said that, but sorry. The place I'm at now, if you kind of take Prancer down and then there's a fork in the trail, take it to the right and you will land here. Or just hop in the drone and fly around and you'll find stuff. Harley, I have thousands of hours on this game and I literally love Cranked. Thank you. I don't know if you mean thousands of hours in our game or thousands of hours of Descenders. Ancrest says he's played 4,000 hours on Descenders, and I'd say it's got only very few similarities in gameplay. So there you go for all the people calling this Descenders. Try it before you hate it.
Voldemort would like to see some more enduro trails.
Enduro could be interesting, but do you think pedaling uphill and like climbing in a video game is fun? That's my honest question to you. Is like, honestly, do you think that just climbing and going slow in an enduro race and stuff would be fun? I feel like the downhills where people have the fun. Brendan asks, how big is our dev team? We're like 4 full-time people and then 3 or so part-time people.
I see we've got Antgrass hanging out with us on the YouTube side of things.
He's on both. Antgrass is multitasking right now.
All right.
Try to do some free riding here.
Brady asks, do you ever stream the actual development, like programming or art? Zach did a programmer stream on our Discord a couple of weeks ago. So we've done that one, and we want to do something with Maggie. She's not super comfortable streaming. We've asked her to come on to this live stream. Not super comfortable. She's a really low-key, chill person, and that's kind of not exactly her personality. So we want to find something to do with her from an art standpoint. But we've done one, and we'd like to do more, for sure.
Charlie says, why don't you guys put the game on Steam? The game will be on Steam. Our Steam page is already up, but this game is in very early. It's not in the kind of state to be on Steam yet. I mean, this is pre-alpha. So I think for us, the goal to hit early access is to be in beta phase. So we got to finish the alpha phase and then get the basics of beta phase done. And then kind of once we're in the middle of beta phase is when early access would launch. But we will hopefully have a free demo on there later this year. So yes, Steam is the plan, but we need more time to get there. We're only 5 to 6 months into this thing.
Tom asks on TikTok, and I think this is one of our differentiators in a way, Tom. He asks, how about a competitive side to the game? Is there anything there? Do you intend to make the most competitive mountain biking game here, Joe? Is that what you would say?
Yeah, if you're into downhill mountain bike racing, Cranked will be the most competitive mountain bike racing game there is, and I can pretty much promise you that, unless someone else is making a game that I don't know of. But of all the games on the market, ours will definitely be the most competitive. Let's do a race right now.
As you do. Antgrass just said, excuse me, I'm chewing gummies because of my throat, but Antgrass just said that he would be down with doing a live stream of him making trails. So we'll work that out. We'll figure something out there so you guys can kind of work with him. Maybe he'll even take some community suggestions as he's building the trail, and you guys can do something collaboratively. So we'll do something there too.
We got green lights, guys. That's good. See if we can get a good run for the stream. Brian can answer questions while I'm ripping.
Yeah. Masson70 says third person is looking sick already. Good deal. Love it. Love it. A lot of questions about descenders. I mean, you guys can imagine how often we get this because we're building this mountain bike game and we have all these placeholder graphics in it right now. It's just so different. If you ask anybody who's actually played, they'll all tell you how different it feels to play the game. It's going to look a lot different over time, but we just have placeholder art in there right now. We did do a video at the top of our TikTok profile. It's pinned there that answers this question in depth though. So I'll just say if anybody's super interested in the answer, I encourage you to check that out, and you can kind of see all the ways that this is very different.
I challenge you guys too that are saying this is just Ascenders. It's like, watch the actual gameplay here critically. Like, actually pay attention to what you're seeing, and then go play Descenders and pay attention to what you're playing there. Like, I think if you actually look at things critically, you'll notice a lot of key differences here, especially this tech riding and all this kind of racing format. We're already racing on a global scale with global leaderboards. I can see everyone in the world who's played the game, and I can compare my times against theirs and race them. And look, I'm coming through rock gardens and all this tech stuff, and I'm not sliding around like I'm on ice. It's a very different feeling game. Anyway, keep running.
Charlie says, is it not possible to like die or fall? It definitely is. It may need tweaked a little bit, but Joel,
this
right
map
there, you crashed.
This map is bugged. If you see this happen, I crashed. It shouldn't do this. It's a bug in this version, which is another reason we didn't release this build today. The other map, when I crash, you can actually like see the ragdoll and whatever. But right now we've got some bugs.
Yeah, AJ wants to see some ragdoll mechanics, so we'll
let me switch maps for you and we'll show you ragdoll.
Patrick and No Name, thank you for the follows. Appreciate that very much. Would you guys want to add a sort of ranked mode? Yeah, that's in the plan eventually. Dimitri, it really definitely is not just Ascenders. Easy to say when you just kind of look at it for a minute, but I encourage you to watch one of the videos on YouTube that describe the difference, or to play it. It would even be a better way, and you'll see it doesn't play like any other game. Or just don't, and maybe you'll check it out in 3 months or so when we get to, say, the alpha phase or the beta phases, which are still in our future, and then you'll notice that it's a different thing altogether that we're doing. We're making this game because we weren't finding what Joe was looking for in other games. He had a very specific idea in mind, and we're pursuing that. So play it, and I think you'll see the difference. Or don't.
So there's some ragdoll physics for you.
Yeah. But also all that's, the ragdolling that's still a work in progress, right, Joe?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll improve it over time.
Yep. Sam wants to know if it'll be free. We'll have a free demo. We'll have a free demo where you can try. We're kind of excited to get that free demo, because then if people kind of pass judgment on it just quickly, we can just say play the demo, and if they care, they will, and they'll see for themselves, what you think, and if not, also fine. Just be easier to say, just go play it than us to try to explain it. So I'm looking forward to it. Probably December. Antgrass is staying on YouTube. Yeah, cool. We do have 135 concurrent right now on TikTok, which is solid. Thank you all for hanging out with us.
Is there going to be rewind? Maybe for non-race runs, but we would never have a rewind in a race run. I think that would kill the competition.
Freeze Framer wants to know when they can play the new trail via Patreon. Next week, I think, is when this build will be out for everybody.
Yeah, hopefully next week.
Yeah, we won't have races instead of time trials exactly. It's not going to be like two bikes racing against each other. We're going to do it the way that you see how mountain biking works in real life. We don't know the final cost yet. The graphics we've just begun, Theory Snipes. The graphics, it's almost all placeholder. Just look at the bike if you want to see what we have in mind for the graphics. Everything else is very new. We've only worked on the game actively for a little over 4 months at this point, so it's very early.
Guys, I just turned a fan on to cool my sweaty hands. Let me know if you can hear it in the mic, and I'll turn it back off. But hopefully you can.
Yeah, can.
You can?
Only when you talk. When you don't talk, it cancels out the background noise. But when you talk, I can hear it in the background. Chatty Boy wants to know, would you allow fan-made tracks for others to play? Great question, Chatty. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Yeah, modding in this game has been a pillar of the whole thing since Joe first had the idea. It's non-negotiable. Right from the moment Joe started talking to me about this idea years ago, it was always going to have modding, and there was just no other way. It was always going to have really good PvP, really good like riding with your friends play as well. So these are things that are going to happen. If you join our Patreon, even the free version of our Patreon, you get access to our roadmap, and you can see all the things that we have in plans. We're developing this game in public, and we don't hide things like this. Sometimes we have initial meetings about things in this live stream.
Which we actually have a topic today to talk about, the Rad Dog Pizza Party playtest.
Well, let's do it. Let's move on. We're going to talk about this right now because this is something Joe mentioned to me earlier, and he was like, we need to talk about it. Well, and then I was like, well, we could talk on Thursday, and Joe said, let's just do it on the stream. So I don't know exactly what he was going to say. Joe, you want to set it up?
Yeah. So Rad Dog, if you guys don't know, was our very first Cranked Collabs drop, and a Cranked Collabs is where you can tune into the live stream, and periodically on the live streams, we drop some in-game gear you can earn for free just by hanging on the live stream and then claiming it. And the very first one was a Rad Dog t-shirt. Same t-shirt I'm wearing now, but it's in a mustard color, actually. Let's see, I don't know if you can see the back, kind of.
That's it. Nice.
Anyway,
good time.
it's a bike shop in El Paso, Texas. My best buddy owns it, named Richie. And we're going to have a little pizza party play test on Saturday, October 11th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if you're in the El Paso, Texas area, which probably none of you are, but if any of you are, or if any of you want to fly down here, come hang out with us. We're going to be doing that, but we have details to talk about, and I thought we could just talk about it on stream. So that's the plan. But so I talked to Richie last night, Brian, and the idea was that we'll do 5 to 9. We'll get. We're gonna have a leaderboard there where people will pick one of these trails. I don't know which trail we think we should do, but we'll pick a trail. People can run times, and we'll have a leaderboard. And at the end of the night, the top 3 will win gift certificate for Rad Dog. It'll be $100 for first place, $50 for second, and $25 for third. And then I'm thinking about getting stickers made. There's a local print shop here that could make us some stickers, so we could give away stickers. Richie's going to give away Rad Dog water bottles, like bike water bottles, while supplies last for the first people who show up. We're going to order pizzas, probably have some beer there, and we're just going to hang out. We're going to record a bunch of footage, so I'm going to record people playing. We're going to get cameras set up so we can record the reactions to them playing, and the plan is just to get real mountain bike riders to come into the bike shop, test the game, give us feedback, record footage of it, and then use that footage for content on social media and stuff like that. So that's the plan, but there's kind of some things we need to figure out, like how many computers are we bringing? Am I setting up this entire computer and bringing monitors? And I don't know, but that was the gist, Brian. I wanted to give you the gist and see if you had any other ideas. Do we want to do anything else above what I just mentioned, or what?
I think we should do one of these Crank t-shirts for the winner, because it's going to be somebody in the States. Getting it to him is going to be easy. So I say we throw a Crank t-shirt in for the winner as well.
Okay.
What's going to be what's he going to do to get the word out that he's doing this?
So that was the other thing we need to talk about, is I didn't know if Fish could make some graphics, and then we could post them up on social media as like collab posts in addition with Rad Dog. I can make some videos talking about it, and we could post those up as collab posts. So it'll mostly be a social media push, just him pushing on the Rad Dog account, telling people in the area what we're doing, and if they want to come try to earn a $100 gift card to Rad Dog. It's a pretty decent amount of money.
How many people does he have naturally coming through his shop on a daily basis? Is it pretty light?
Yeah, because his shop is mostly a wrenching shop. I mean, he does sell bikes.
Yeah.
Like he sells salsa and Mondraker and whatever. But it's a smaller shop, but it's a core shop. Like the core riders in the community, the people who are serious about riding and kind of know the ins and outs of the community, go to Rad Dog, and they go to Richie because they know that he's been working on bikes his entire life and he's the best mechanic in town. So it's a small, kind of quaint little shop, but the people that go there are legit riders.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know how many he has coming through. I don't think it's a huge number.
Okay. Cool.
But I don't even think this is during like typical shop hours. It's going to be like a kind of an event after. But the thing about Richie is he knows everyone in town, so hopefully he can spread the word and get it out and get enough people there to have fun. And if not, dude, if nobody shows up and it's me, you, and him hanging out for 4 hours just shooting the shit, I'm cool with that too, honestly.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That
Are
wouldn't
we
happen.
going to? Are we going to have beer? I assume, right?
Yep.
All right. That's working. How do you feel about having your computer there?
I mean, it's kind of a process to like get it there, set it up. You know, I'd have to like take a monitor down, and you know, it's a big desktop. But I think it runs the best on this computer. I would, you know, I'd like to have the graphics on high and all that for people to play it and have a good experience. I can put it on the Steam Deck, and the Steam Deck runs pretty good, so we could have the Steam Deck there, maybe this computer and my Mac, and that's kind of like three devices. I would like to know how busy it's going to be, because if I knew it'd be a real slow trickle, I'd just set up one computer and deal with it.
Right.
But, you know, it's kind of hard to know.
I wonder if anybody will show up who has played before. Don't know. It's hard to tell. The other thing we have an opportunity to do is to do hopefully some interesting content from that event. I mean, we haven't really done any like live on the spot content yet for social media, etc. So my guess is we'll just kind of wing that. But if anybody has ideas of what we could do, or if you have ideas, Joe, we could always talk about that now.
Yeah, Richie and I were discussing, like, should we live stream the whole event, or should I just record stuff and make clips later? Like, we could just have it on live stream, and Richie talked about, like, having a microphone and a camera, and he could walk around and talk to people on the live stream, and you know, just kind of have, like, a 4-hour kind of hangout live stream of people playing and chatting and that. Or, you know, I don't know how, you know, there might be low times where there's not much going on, and so... But it could be fun to have a live stream where we're screen recording the main computer that people are playing on, and then we've also got like, I could probably set up my DJI Osmo on a really long USB cable, kind of be able to walk around and use that as like a mobile webcam. So it could be kind of fun to try that and see how that would work.
Yeah, and I guess we could always just bust our phones out and record whatever we see when we see it, and see if we get something decent to work with there too.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting to know Richie, man. I know he's one of your best friends, and I've heard a lot about him, and he seems like a really interesting and cool guy, but I've never met him before, so I'm pumped about it.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richie's great.
If there is anybody who is serious, who might make it to this event, you know, hit us up on Discord and let us know ahead of time so we can kind of make arrangements right off the bat.
Yeah.
Brady wants to know, do we use Google Docs to remember ideas, or do we have any specific game planner? I mean, we use Codex. So it's like a project management platform for game devs called Codex. That's what we use, Brady.
It's free, man. You can get a free account that I think allows up to 4 team members. So if you're just kind of like a solo dev and you want something to keep organized, I definitely highly recommend Codex. It was made by game developers for them to better manage their own game development. And like a lot of the enterprise software out there is just bloated and has too much garbage in it. So Codex is very straightforward. It's kind of gamified. There's like, you create decks of cards, and I could show you guys actually. Let's do it.
Yeah, do it. Tucker, thank you for sharing the live, and Alec as well. Thank you guys for sharing the live. When you guys do that, it helps us so much. It just helps us spread the word, and we really appreciate it when I see that somebody shared the live. So thank you very much. Will it be on console? Yeah, eventually we want it to be on console. That's the plan. We're working on PC first, but console eventually.
Sorry guys if it's like very small. If you're on TikTok, you can turn your phone landscape and it'll get bigger. But this is Codex. So what we've got here, this is our roadmap too. If you join our Patreon or Discord and you go to our links section, you could like see all this kind of stuff. But right now we're in alpha. So you can kind of see the things we're working on. The downhill bike model is mostly done. We could probably check this to done. The rider model is what Maggie's currently working on, actually. So you can come in here, you can like see all the different things. We've got a bunch of physics improvements that we've been working on. And then, you know, you can create your own decks of cards. So we've organized it in like alpha, beta, early access, gold master. You can organize it any way you want. And then you can kind of have a timeline here where it shows your sprints or however you want to do it. You can create vision boards. And then this is where you see your hand. So you can see like who, you know, Maggie, what she's working on, what Zach working on. We're kind of bad with updating this, to be honest with you. We need to get better at it. But we're such a small team. It's not a huge deal. But this is Codex. It's super fun. You know, you just kind of, you know, if you want to create a new task, you just open up a card, you start typing stuff like, you know, you just do whatever you want. And there's a bunch of different settings you can toggle on, priorities, how much effort it's going to take, who, you know, you can put tags, you can assign it to people. So this is Codex, and this is what we use, and hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, Lana, thank you for sharing the live. Really appreciate it. And Ninja, can you use a PS4 controller? Yes, you can.
Yeah. What's going on YouTube?
Arms. Some people are making mentions of the arms. The arms. First of all, the rider right now is the worst graphic in the game. It's the worst placeholder that we have. And second of all, the arms are bugged, so they look crazy, like bendy and weird. So yeah. It's wild. I know.
This is like
kind of fun, but
the first build they were this bad actually. But we wanted to show off third person, and this is the build with third person.
Yeah.
So. Mac
One
and
of the things
Zaggy are
about
working on
developing-
a new rider right now.
Oh yeah.
You can fly
Daniel
drone.
says, "Wait, this looks so good. Is it available now?" It is available now, Daniel. If you're still with us, if you look at the Patreon address on the screen, you can see where to go to get the game and play it right now. The version Joe's playing has a couple of things in it, like third person, for instance, that we have not released on the Patreon yet. Because I mean, a week ago, I didn't even know that we had started third person. The third person is that new. So this is like some of the first testing that's been done. Patreon members should have this build next week. An improved version of this with some bugs squashed. Have you guys heard anything? Optin wants to know, have you guys heard anything or any type of backlash from, he says, Ascenders, I think, from Descenders, like the company? The only thing, we haven't talked to anybody at Descenders. They commented on an early post, stoked that Antgrass was working with us because they know of him, but no. But we hear a lot of people on TikTok who jump in and just kind of say right off the bat that it reminds them of Descenders. That's the main thing that we get, but the good news there is when people actually play the game, we don't hear that at all. So it's just people who haven't tried it yet that say that.
And it's guys, it's not like I feel like when it comes to mountain bike games, everyone's in the mindset of like there can only be one. And it's like if all of a sudden Crank gets big, Descenders goes away or something. Like there could be multiple games. I think Descenders is going to do certain things better, and I think Cranked will do certain things better, and it depends on what you're looking for. So you know, we've got hundreds and hundreds of first-person shooters. There's probably 100 every year that come out, and you know, it's fine. There's different tastes and different flavors and different styles. So, you know, we're not trying to like dethrone Descenders and take them out of business or anything. I mean, they just came out with Descenders Next, which is this snowboarding and mountain boarding. Doesn't even have bikes in it. So they're probably more focused on that than they are. I know they're still doing updates to OG Descenders, but you know, it's not like we're trying to like dethrone them or anything. Just making our own thing, making our own, you know, making a mountain bike game to our taste and our vision, and kind of covering things that other games have kind of forgotten about. And you know, I think racing's a big one. There's really not a good downhill racing mountain bike game. Lonely Mountains downhill is the best one, but it's very top down and arcadey and different style.
Brendan says he loves stumbling across early games in development like this and following along until release. Thank you, man. I just want to say thanks for taking the time to understand how early we are in development and realizing that we are sharing it early in the very beginning stages. You know, it's easy to compare us to other games, but I'm pretty sure there are no other mountain bike games on the market that anybody saw when they had 4 months of work done on them. So it's like comparing us 4 months in because we're showing it to final things that have been shipped after, in most cases, years of development. And I appreciate that you're acknowledging this. So thank you so much for that, Brendan. Hope you hang out with us.
Goose Faraba is asking if the new build will have shorter beginner maps. I don't know if the next build you get won't have. I mean, I'll have all these tracks, but it won't have the new beginner ones. I think October is the month that Cedric plans to knock out like the 3 main, because his goal is 3 trails a month. So I think in October he's going to plan to get out the 3 kind of beginner trails, but the beginner trails are going to go from this area, like right. Let me back it up this way. So right here is going to be like a trail junction, I think is his plan. He might correct me in chat. But right here is going to be like a lift and a trail junction. And there's already one, and it's not that long. Let me show you guys exactly how long these trails will be. So here's kind of the length of a beginner trail. Let's see. I'll time it.
Good night, Nigel. Thanks for hanging out with us, man.
All right. I need to block Frankly. Thank you for interrupting me, Frankly. And you will be banned. Bye.
Henry and Harrison, thank you for the follow, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Frankly's gone. Sorry. I was trying to time that run for you. All right, let's see. We're at 44 and a half minutes of the stream. Let me see. All right, so here's beginner, the length of a beginner trail, give or take. We'll see, man. We might end up redoing a bunch of stuff in the future, but it's a pretty short trail. Super beginner friendly, this one. This will be one of the first beginner jump trails you play. I'm not even bunny hopping on these. Like, I'm just kind of rolling them, and you can still clear them. Peach is asking, what's the main goal when making the game? Main goal is to have fun. Make a fun mountain biking game that feels authentic and then represents mountain biking the way I think mountain biking should be represented.
And how long have we been making it? The project started about 6 months ago, but we had to go on hiatus for a short period of time. So we have a little over 4 months of dev time in this so far. We're pre-alpha at this point, focusing initially on gameplay, physics, and trails. Without good gameplay, without good physics, without great trails, we won't have anything that's worth, that's good, that's going to stick around for a long time. We got to get the center of it right. So we're to the point now where we're starting to develop the graphics out, but almost everything you see right now is a placeholder. The bike is close to final, the first bike in the game. It's the Frameworks bike. We partnered with those guys to put their downhill bike in as our first bike, and we'll work on the rider next. The rider is the worst art in the game right now. So everything you see rider-wise right there is placeholder jank, and will be hopefully replaced. I kind of feel like maybe we'll have the first rider that Maggie made within the next couple weeks. I hope so anyway, but we'll see.
Yeah. But there you go, Goose Frau. But that was less than a minute run on that beginner trail. So I think the first 3 beginner trails will be about a minute long, maybe less. I don't think they need to be long. The first one is meant to be like teach the player pedal, turn. The next one maybe will like teach them a little bit of braking, and then the third one and maybe like sharper turning, like turning and braking combined in the second trail, and then the third one will probably teach them how to jump. So they'll be kind of introduce them slowly into the mechanics of the game. It's not first person only, but third person is a work in progress. We just added it to work on the suspension physics, but it's got a long way to go until it's where it should be.
Liberated235 says, I swear every time I see you guys stream, y'all look more and more tired. Play hard, rest hard, guys. It probably comes mostly from answering questions about Descenders all day long when we live stream. The thing that makes us feel tired, but no, it's I don't know if Joe really stopped working any. I don't know if you ever stop. Is there ever a time you're not thinking about this game, man?
Not really. Maybe when I'm climbing. I think when I'm climbing, it's my time to like do my thing and think about climbing and focus on that. Like me, it's kind of like my therapy, I think, is climbing. Mountain biking used to be that way, but now that I'm making a mountain bike game, when I'm on my mountain bike, I'm just the whole time thinking about the crank. So that's no longer kind of like a therapeutic ride now.
Gunman 2727, thanks for hanging out. Wants to know if we're going to keep it arcadey or go realistic. We consider it a simcade game, so it's going to have arcade feel to it in general, but also a lot of the feeling of riding in real life. So a blend is what we're going for. We made Mad Skills Motocross and Mad Skills BMX, and those games always had elements of reality nestled into an arcadey style game. So I think this one will skew a little more on the realistic side than Mad Skills did. It was a side-scrolling game after all. But yeah, simcade is the way we'd answer that question. And will there be Daniel wants to know, will there be a career mode or just free roam and races? Yeah, there will be a career mode, there will be free roaming, there will be racing, all of that.
We're not going to have like a story or anything, but there will be things to do and a progression system and all that. So you'll definitely be able to hop in and have goals and things to work on, and it's not just kind of free roaming.
VDiff Gift asks, odd question, but what are the air tricks going to look like? We can show you, Joe can show you what is doable in the air with the physics right now. We like tricks to be physics-based as much as possible. We don't have any kind of animations in the game right now. Obviously, if we start throwing cans and things like that, we're probably not going to be able to pull all that off without some form of animation. But for right now, whips, 360s, flips, etc., it's all just physics-based. So he can show you some of that on the screen.
Yep. I can hit these jumps again. Yeah, we'll
Sam
have multiplayer.
says, is the game out? Go ahead, Joe.
We'll have multiplayer and co-op. Anything you can do solo, you'll be able to do with your friends as well.
Sam says, is the game out? I would like to play it so much. It is. You can play it. You can play it all through our development. We're developing it and releasing it in public as we go. On the screen, you'll see a link to Patreon, patreon.com/crankedgame. If you go there, you'll figure out what you have to do to be able to play. And R says, would be cool if we could implement actual trails. We'd love to do that one day. We did it in Mad Skills Motocross. It's way too early for us to be thinking that way at this point, but we would love to collab with some real life bike parks, etc., and do some real stuff one day.
We don't have plans for VR, Hayden. We get asked that a lot though, so we'll see what happens, but probably not.
Peach says bring couch co-op back. I feel like this game would be a lot of fun with couch co-op.
Yeah, I think couch co-op is a thing of the past, mostly for performance issues, right? You got to like render two versions of the game at once on the same console. So I think that's why you don't see tons of couch co-op anymore. And if you do, a lot of it, it's like you're not rendering two versions of the game. It's just one version with two characters in it. Like a lot of the couch co-op games are like that, which you wouldn't be able to do in this game. So we probably won't do couch co-op, but it would be cool. Can you start flips midair with no momentum? As of right now, you can, but that's another thing we need to fix. So like, watch, I can just jump and then in the middle of the air, do a flip. But yeah, we are aware of that and know that that's not realistic, and we will fix it so you have to carve on the lip and like lean back first and all those kind of things. What you can do that's realistic though is in flips and spins, you can tuck in a flip to flip faster. So let me show you on the first jump. The first jump I will not tuck, and you'll see the speed there. So that's not tucked. This jump I'll tuck, and you can see how much faster I spin. And then I'll do the same thing with spins, but it's the opposite. You got to like pencil up and stand up. So this is not standing up. And then this one's standing up, and you can see how much faster I can spin. So we've got that already in there, which kind of makes the flips and the spins very dynamic and more realistic, which is thanks to some community members, one of which was the old potato, but I think some other people in Discord mentioned we should do that. So that was one of the things that the feedback from the community, we agreed with it and put in the game, and now the game's better thanks to you guys.
Titus Poppy's back. Says the amount of progress that we make between each live stream is crazy. Thanks. It blows me away too. I couldn't believe when Zach was like, "Yep, I'm playing third person." I was shocked, and I'm getting used to how much he's getting done. But I was really surprised that he was able to get that done so quickly. I mean, not done, but started so quickly.
What's Vega asking over there? Can you read that question, Brian, on YouTube?
Vega says, make something, an idea. Welcome back, Vega. It's always good to see you around, man. He says, make something similar to the control of the bike in the air of MX bikes. Like when you stand, the rider pull the bars up to the chest, and when you crouch, the front get down and away. What do you think?
For sure. Like the rider animations and movement is the thing we have not worked on yet. So all that stuff will get worked on. Let me try this free blah, blah, blah. This line that Jax has been, I think it was Jax working on this line. I messed it up. I got to figure out that line, dude, but I want to kind of session that for a sec.
Chevin and Liam, too sober. Thank you guys for following us so much. Titus says the last time he watched, everyone was asking for third person and suspension movement, and now he's watching and he sees third person and suspension movement.
There you go.
Yeah, it kind of comes from just being focused on what it is we're working on, and everybody's dedicated, and we're not trying to do too much. We're focusing on one thing at a time, and it's so far it's working out. We're moving pretty quickly. Chase, thanks for the follow. Daniel is saying, please add FPV drones. He's been talking about FP drones. I know it's important to you too, Joe. You want to talk about that for a sec?
I absolutely want to do that. I think realistically it's something we'll probably do post-launch. Like, the plan is that we launch this game globally, and then we keep working on it and updating it over the years. And I think that's definitely something that I think, we need to launch the game, kind of see where we are money-wise and how successful we are, and then go from there. But you know, here's proof that I do fly FPV. Here's my FPV controller. I was actually playing some FPV sims the last couple nights, so I'm with you. I really want an FPV mode. I want it to be like proper. I think the way to do it would be to partner with one of the game developers who's already making one in Unity, and see if we can find one that's on a similar Uni version as us, and just kind of, you know, figure out a way that we can partner and kind of put it in the game. Because I think being able to practice FPV drones in an environment like this, where you can kind of follow your friends and all that, would just be absolutely insane. Like, there would be FPV pilots who would buy this game just to practice FPV at that point, if we did it good enough, for sure. Which would be so fun. I mean, Alex asking how realistic would it be? I want it to feel. I would love two modes, like you know, an easy mode where players who don't know how to fly FPV can hop in and have fun, because flying FPV for real is incredibly hard. I don't think people realize how hard it is till they try it. But I really want like a true on FPV sim, as good as any of those sims out there, in the game. That's my dream. Will it happen? We'll see.
Carlton wants to know if it'll have real brands. I mean, it already does. Like the bike Joe's on right now, it's a Frameworks bike. And if you follow our Crank collab series, you'll see we have a couple of brands that you can get T-shirts, in-game T-shirts, and we want to get more bike brands in the game and other brands. When we made Mad Skills Motocross, we partnered with brands all the time, you know. So we have a lot of experience with that, and we want to do more of it for sure. Kaleba, the name is Cranked. The name of the game is Cranked.
Will you need
User 75, you're saying, is that you or games getting worse with time? This looks like a PS1 game. This is a pre-alpha game that we have about 4 months of work in, where we're focusing on the physics. You know, we're doing a develop in public approach, so we show things early, understanding that sometimes people are going to duck in and say things like that without paying attention. Maybe play it and see what you think, or watch some of the videos that kind of compare us to some of the other mountain bike games, and you understand what we're going for. And, you know, maybe it'll be your bag, maybe not, but maybe so.
Also, go back and look at what PS1 games actually look like, because they don't look like this. But.
Brendan says, is licensing a challenge at all for real bikes and gear? Yeah, of course, for sure. You know, you got to kind of lawyer up to some extent, especially the bigger brands. There are agreements involved and all that kind of stuff, and so yeah, it's all more challenging. It's one of the reasons we haven't really gone down that road yet too much. A company like Frameworks, they're small, so it's a little bit easier to do. But if we were trying to work with Trek, I'm sure we'd have to put a lot more time and energy into setting a relationship up like that. Good question. Definitely a challenge. A lot, you know, bigger game companies have licensing divisions that handle that for them, or they work with external partners that handle their licensing. So yeah, definitely a bit of a challenge to overcome to make that happen. User 75, you're welcome. No problem. Stripe, your audio is a bit ahead of the video on TikTok, he says. I wonder if everybody else is getting that. Hey, on the YouTube side as well, you guys have any feedback on the quality of the stream today? We're such rookies at this. We're trying to get better. Any like hiccups or echoing or anything weird like that we need to know about? What's up, Tobias?
Man, why'd I crash
Tobias
there?
says, let's go, Joe. Is it possible to 180 and ride backwards a bit?
Shit, Tobias, let me show you what. Let's go to my favorite zone to do that. It's gonna take a second to get there because this drone needs to be faster.
And we have a request for a backflip on TikTok as well, if you want to throw one of those in for the fun.
Yeah. I can do that.
While you're zipping over, I'm going to answer Brendan Bailey on TikTok. Thank you for showing up and hanging out with us, man. Is it going to have community-made mods? Yeah. Big part of the roadmap, big part of the plan from the beginning. Mods are awesome in games. Mods make games grow and live on forever. They allow people to get super creative and contribute to the community, for sure. Mods are big. We even want to do a track builder as well that's more accessible than modding eventually. But modding is a part of our beta phase. Is that when we're going to introduce modding, or are we starting in an alpha actually?
I think the bare bone, like the basics in alpha. I think it's only your video that's off, Brian, because your video's off in Discord too. Not off, but it's off with your audio.
Okay.
But I don't know how to fix that at this point.
I don't know. I'll do this.
Yeah, now say
See
something.
if that does anything. You never know. Maybe
Maybe
that'll
it's a
do
little
it.
better. Maybe a little better. All right, Tobias, just for you. Let me get back my bike. Do it in third person. Can you ride backwards? Here we go. Here we go. Do a little Manny to fakie.
You got Tobias.
Oh,
Boom.
screwed up. I need it. We need to have a setting to invert controls when you're going fakie, because it's my brain doesn't work this way. There you go. Backflip. Someone wanted a backflip? Oh, not big enough. Let me hit the trail back here. Oh, I missed it.
Zach Warren's asking what game it's cranked. And Chaleba is asking how much money. Right now, you can play it for as little as $5 on our Patreon. How much are we going to charge when we release the final version of it? We don't know yet, but it'll be fair. We want to charge. We want to produce a game that's a good value for people, so they feel stoked when they get it. Whether it's now in this early stage or whether it's in the global release stage, either way, it's important to us. Josie, are we planning on upgrading the graphics? Yeah, in fact, we've only just begun the graphics. Everything is placeholder except for the bike. So everything else that you see is placeholder. There are some new things in the environment that one of our players made that look way better than anything else in the game, and that's improved the look of it as well. But the environment and the rider and so much of this stuff is just placeholder graphics right now because we're so early in the development of the game. You do steer with both sticks.
Yeah, you can. The left stick is turning the bars like this, and then right stick leans. And if you combine the both, you get even sharper turns and leans. Can I show whips? Yeah, whips are work in progress, but I could show you kind of what we're at here. We need to work on the body separation between the bike and the rider. We also need to work on like where the rider's head's looking when he whips. Let me hit some of these big jumps, and I'll throw a few. So yeah, work in progress because we haven't got our rider model in yet. This placeholder one that we got from the Unity Asset Store is very, it's very limited in the movement and what we can do with it. So we're not even able to kind of like unlock certain stuff. But I think actually they probably look better in first person right now. So
Tobias, how's my sound now, man? Is it off still? If it is, then I'm probably going to be this way the rest of the stream. CLBR on YouTube says the fork looks like it is always 90% compressed. The bike looks sick though. Joe?
Actually, I think there's a bug with the suspension right now that you say that. So yeah, you're probably right. It wasn't like that earlier. Let me go to the other map. I wonder if it's this map again.
See it moving there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely... Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, so it shouldn't look like that, and it didn't earlier. Let's see. Let me see.
Do you think... I wonder if restarting it would change it. Yeah.
Let me try the other map.
Thanks, Tobias.
Yeah, there you go. So now... Wait. There we go. It's supposed to look like that.
Thank you, CLBR. Thanks for that, man. Good spot.
Let me see if I can show it to you in motion. See if it works better here. I find the best way is just to roll fakie, and eventually the camera will turn around. And then you can you can see it moving real good. But yeah, it shouldn't be 90% compressed. Good eye.
Very good eye.
Quit
Brendan
moving,
says
camera.
the bike looks so good. Thanks. Yeah, Maggie did a great job on it, and Frameworks did a great job designing it in the first place. So, really, I guess as far as how good the bike looks, it's kind of on Frameworks, and then we give Maggie props for replicating it so effectively.
Yeah, you can see it moving here. I think the suspension movement looks good. I mean, Zach did that in 2 days, I think, which is pretty good. Kind of did it in a day or so, and then we gave him some feedback. It was a little too quickly moving around, and then he fixed it. And I think it's good, man. I think it's ship it. We can't spend forever on everything when we're a small team. We got to move quickly. So yeah. I think it's good enough where it is. It feels good, looks good. We're gonna roll with it.
Tybe VDB, are you still with us? If so, I'll answer your question. If not, I'll skip it. Is it going to be available on console, Josie? Yeah, eventually that's the plan. That is the plan. Harry, thanks for the follow. And No Name, thank you for the follow. Much appreciate y'all. One Stock Audi, thank you so much.
Has third person always been in the game? No, third person was just added, and it's still very much a work in progress. It's barely in the game. We added it because Zach was working on the suspension animations, and you kind of need to be able to see the suspension to work on the suspension. So he threw a third person camera in there, pretty much just to work on that. And then once Maggie finishes the new rider, this is the placeholder rider. Once Maggie finishes the new one, we'll get the new rider in there. And then from there, we can really start going crazy on animating the rider, the body positions, the movement of the rider, making the whips look better, the wheelies and the manuals look better, turning, pedaling, like the actual movement of pedaling and things like that. All of that stuff is placeholder. So once the rider's done, then we have the ability to do that. And then third person will start looking good. Then we'll work on new camera settings and different, all that kind of stuff. So that's like the short roadmap ahead of us, is working on all that. Once the third person, the rider model, the animations, all that stuff is in a better place, then we're going to start working on multiplayer so that you guys can get in here with your friends and have fun racing with your buddies, or hanging out, or free riding, or doing whatever you want. But let's look at this again, because I really like this gate.
Yeah, it's great. Odds as, thank you so much for the 18 roses on TikTok. Thank you so much. And Harry says, good work. This looks awesome. Mason says, this looks awesome. Honestly, I appreciate it. Really want to encourage y'all to play it though, man. It's when you play it, I think, that you start to get it. So if you haven't yet, you could play it now on the Patreon, or just hang tight, and when we release the demo in December or so, you can check it out at that point and see what you think.
I want a way to like move the camera when you're in first person, because like in this view, I'd love to like look to my left and my right, and I don't know. I also think like better sound of like breathing. Like I feel like if this was me in the gate right now, I feel like a low heartbeat. Like you hear the heart, you hear the breathing, and it's kind of like that anticipation, and then you kind of start, and that kind of fades away, and then you just start hearing the sounds of the dirt and the crowd roaring, and the cowbells and the chainsaws and the whistles of the people as you pass them, on the track. And I think that would just take things up to a whole nother level. So those are the kind of things that I think about when I'm playing and get excited for.
Nice. Adam Morgan's here on YouTube. I hadn't noticed Tails, and I hadn't noticed you, Adam. I'm glad to see you able to make it with us, man. Hope you're doing well. Daniel says, can you make it to where you can make the graphics really low for laptop players? Yes, you can. I was playing on a MacBook Pro, and at that point usually I put it on the medium graphic settings.
Here you go.
It's fine.
Here's low settings.
There's low.
So it's very low, but it makes it very playable.
Yeah. So yeah, you can play it on a potato, basically.
Now we're in PS2 graphic territory, guys. Before, not so much, but now, yeah. All right, let's go back.
Jay, are you still with us? He says, this looks like, if he's not here, I'm not going to answer it, but. Nope, in and out. In and out, quick comment.
Let's go,
that's the way it goes.
Let's go back to some free riding. I have more fun on
he's
that
there
right now.
Jay is here. He says, this looks like Descenders, but worse. Just my opinion based off of what I'm seeing. We have about 4 months of work into it. You never would have even seen Descenders until I would assume years of development. So what we're doing is we're kind of developing a game in public, so you get to see all the early stages. As a result, one of the risks of that is that when people just kind of pop in, they don't really realize that. Yeah, exactly. It's not easy to realize that right away. I understand that. But when you understand what we're doing is we're developing a game with radical candor. We talk about everything publicly. We release everything that we build as we go. And people play it, and they give us their feedback, and we take that feedback in, and that way our community is helping guide the development of the game, and we just do it all really honestly and openly. One of the things that happens sometimes is if you don't really know that part of it, you'll hop in and you'll see a game that has all placeholder graphics and stuff, and it looks dated or whatever. So I get it for sure. But just keep in mind, we're super early. We're pre-alpha at this point. Give us a little time, and I think the game will look a lot different, and it won't feel like any other game. Thanks for the comment, though, man. Rabbit, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Kasaba wants to know if it'll be arcadey or realistic. We consider it a simcade. It's kind of in the middle. Alec wants to know if we would keep working with frameworks or other types of bikes. I mean, we plan on having this frameworks bike in the game for good, and If they have another frame that I think they do an enduro bike too, right, Joe?
Yep,
Frameworks?
I'd love to get theirs, the enduro bike in when we're ready to add enduros.
So I'm sure when it's time to do an enduro bike, we'll ask those guys if they want to put that in as well. We kind of have a tendency to stay pretty loyal to the people who work with us, you know. But we're down with working with other companies too, for sure. And Mad Skills Motocross, we partnered with Suzuki at one point, put them in the game. Lots of other brands too. So yeah, man, we're down with that for sure. Bike modding R, yeah, we will do bike modding. I think the first steps of the implementation of bike modding happen in our alpha phase. We're pre-alpha now, but we are going to mod it. We're going to start modding early and try to start building that community early.
I don't know how much we'll be bike modding. We got to be careful what we talk about here, but problem with we gotta talk to our legal team. But I think if you have an in-game mod browser, doing certain type of mods is probably not going to work for legal reasons, because you can't just get in here and like mod a Santa Cruz bike and then it looks like first party support for a Santa Cruz bike and we didn't get official. So we'll have to see. Definitely going to be modding for maps and such, but we don't want to promise like you can mod whatever you want and then we have to change plans in the future. So
yes, Brendan, we made Mad Skills Motocross. I'm one of the owners of that company. Joe's one of the owners of that company. Tobias Anderson is the majority owner of that company. He's in the YouTube chat right now. The three of us are 3 of the 4 founders of Session Syndicate in this game. And then the crew, the developer and the artist, currently split time between us and the Mad Skills stuff. Kind of. They mostly work on this game at this point. But yeah, we did Mad Skills Motocross, Mad Skills BMX, Snowcross, all that stuff. Hunter, thank you for the follow.
Kasaba, what about modding, like adding more features in that would be added that aren't? Yeah, you'll be able to mod environments and like physics within your environment and all that kind of stuff is the plan. So yeah, if you want to add you want to build new ramps and jumps and buildings and whatever you want, you should be able to do that. We're going to try to make modding as open as possible because I know that's what people want, but we just have to make sure like legally we're not doing anything that gets us in trouble.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, or even outside of getting in trouble makes the people in the same community that we exist in feel like it's crap. Even if they don't have the resources to pursue some legal action. I don't want people to be bummed that we've allowed something that makes them feel like we're encroaching on their IP. So it's more a question of doing the right thing. We got to figure that out. Not sure what it is yet. Kevin, many hours in Mad Skills. Sweet, man. That's awesome. Alex says, if you got a publisher, how big would your team have been? I don't know, because we didn't get a publisher. They didn't want to work with us.
Well,
so I'm not sure.
I mean, we had budgets and all that. The idea, I think, was like a team of 6. So
okay,
6 people full time on the project. Where right now we've got 3.5 people full time on the project. So it would have been about double the size, but we still didn't want it to be too big. We like to keep it small and close knit and kind of tight. But it'd be nice.
I was asking about.
I was going to say right now we've got 1 artist, 1 programmer, 1 game designer, producer / everything I'm doing, and 1 level designer. So we've kind of got 1 of every category, and I think it would be nice to have 2 of every category, ideally. But we work with what we got.
Kevin on YouTube, when will this build be available? We think next week. There's a couple of weird bugs that I know Zach's going to want to squash, but we think next week. I mean, I expect we'll have this. It'd be nice for everybody to have this build by the time we stream next week from El Paso, Joe. That'd be really nice if we can swing that.
Yeah. Yo, Gavin says Descenders is like 10 times better than this game. Yeah, Descenders has been out 6 years, and how long did they have to develop? And we've been working on it for about 5 months. So we need time to give us 6 years and check back, and we'll do a comparison then.
TikTok's kind of popping off today, man.
Yeah.
We've been doing, I mean, concurrent over 100 almost the whole day on TikTok. It's great.
R says, sorry, I just want to answer so quick. Bike modding, you're talking about suspension, brakes, weight, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. No, we don't want like setups and tuning and that. It's a design decision more than anything. I don't like when I'm kind of questioning, was it my setup that made me lose, or was it my skill? I like when everyone's on a level playing field, like Trackmania style. It's like all the same exact vehicle, same exact stats. There's no differences. You lose. You knew it was your fault. No if, and, or buts about it. So that's the way we're going to roll.
Bennett K on YouTube says, I'd take this game in its current state over Descenders. I think it kind of depends on what you're looking for. Certain people who are going to be into what we're going for are going to feel that way. And I think, Descenders is an epic game that has so many players over a long time. And there are going to be people who like that huge hit, massive freestyle element that they've got going on. So I think it probably depends. But there will definitely be people who are more into the style of game we're making. They're so different. But I'm glad that you feel that way already, Ben. And hopefully we keep you stoked about it as we move forward. We're going to try to make the right decision so that we can do that. We consider that our responsibility. So, we don't know how much the game will be. You can get it eventually when it releases, but you can get it now for as little as $5, and you can get it on our Patreon. You'll see the URL on the screen. If you go to patreon.com/c/crankedgame, you'll figure out what you need to do to get the builds that we do. And even if you only support us for 1 month on Patreon, you'll get all the builds that we make over the course of that month, updates we also call them, and you'll get to keep those for good. So, price of a Gatorade or something like that, and you get to check this game out in a few different versions and help us develop it, tell us what you want to see. We actually do that too. What are some of the things, Joe, that have come from our community that we have implemented in this game so far?
Yeah, the flips and spins thing where you can like tuck to go faster in a flip, or you can pencil up to go faster in a spin is something that the community recommended, and then we put in the game. I think there are some... I got to think of all the other things. YouTube chat will probably tell me a couple things. There's definitely more. That's the main one that sticks out to me. Hold on, let me look at settings. What was in settings? In-air rotation assist. Hodge gave us that idea a week or two ago on the live stream, and he said it'd be nice, and I can display what that is. Let me turn it on. But this is a thing where can I show you this easily? Right here. All right, so when I go in the air, I'll kind of talk you guys through what I'm doing here, but Hodge recommended a thing to where like I'm not touching the controls right there. It's automatically like I let go, and it's automatically orienting my bike for me in the direction I'm going to land. So it's kind of nice for newer players. Like, here we go, watch. I let go of the controls, and it kind of rotates me back the way I'm supposed to be. So that was another thing from the community. What else? What else did we do? Drone. Oh, yeah, drone races. Someone saying definitely. I don't know. There's been a bunch of things. And there's also tons of ideas that are in the backlog from the community that we are planning to implement, but we haven't gotten around to it yet. So tons of things there. A lot of like camera settings and stuff that people are requesting. That stuff will get implemented eventually.
Physics adjustments, as Adam Morgan just pointed out on YouTube. Lots of physics adjustments. I mean, people are constantly helping us dial things in. So we're not doing it blindly. We're doing it with the most sort of dedicated, active players that we have. It's a really good way to develop. It's a lot of fun. Another thing we did is our second cranked collabs was with Space Mesa, Cam McCall's band, and that was Joey K's idea, Joey Kyber's idea, one of our original players. So we get all kinds of stuff from people, and if you hang out with us on Discord, we're super responsive to everybody. We really try to include everybody who wants to hang out with us the best we can. So Baby Monkey, that's right. You see Baby Monkey in the background a little bit if you check it out. Hanging out back there. I came in earlier. He was hanging out in another area of my room, and I came in early. I thought I had everything set up. I was like, I'm gonna leave him off camera today. Come in. Once again, he's gotta be in the spotlight, man. You can't help it, dude. It's just how he's made.
Kasaba, did you literally just join? Because he asked, will you be adding community suggestions? We just got done talking about that. Yes, we will. Yeah. And we have a public roadmap. You can go on our Discord. You can submit ideas, feedback. It gets directly into like our backlog system. Players can vote on all those things. We can see which one has the most votes, so we can see which one people are most excited about, and we can implement them. We've already implemented a bunch of stuff, so yeah, definitely.
Project says, awesome game. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And Caden and 2 Cadens in a row for following us. Very much appreciate that. Rad Van, it's not free now. We will do a demo though, where you can check it out and make sure it's for you. For now, you get it by supporting us through this development process on Patreon. You'll see a URL on the screen if you want to get more info about that. Lots of people who are hanging out with us right now in chat on YouTube and TikTok are playing this game every day, talking to us every day and helping us develop it. And it's open for anybody else who wants to do that too. And if you're not ready to do that, just maybe follow us on TikTok or YouTube or whatever and pay attention to what we're doing, and eventually maybe you'll be ready. Or in December, if we have a free demo ready at that point, you can check it out and see what you think at that point.
Logan
I'll
asked,
have
are
to
you going to
follow it.
change the cutoff arms? Yeah, so we've been talking about this a lot today. If you just joined, where I'm going in the wrong spot. The rider's a placeholder. We're working on a new one. Once the new rider's in, the arms won't be cut off in first person, hopefully. What else did I want to answer? I saw some. If the game's a big hit, will you make Crank 2 or add updates to this game? I would prefer to add updates to this game. I've got tons and tons and tons and tons of ideas for this game. So if the game is a success, I think the end is, there's limitless ideas I have. So I would rather do that than create a whole new game. And it's better for you guys. You get to pay once, and then, you get updates for a bunch of time. Maybe some updates will end up being DLC. I don't know. It depends. But, the plan is to be as fair as possible and give you guys a great product for a single price. But we have some ideas. Like if we partner with an FPV drone developer and they work for us and put an FPV drone thing in, maybe that becomes a $5 DLC and all the proceeds go to pay that developer or something along those lines. So something like that. But that's my plans, my idea. I'm just going to go
Logan
free
says,
riding.
just joined. Will there be public servers, Joe? I'll let you take that one.
That's a Zach question. We need to get Zach back on the stream. I don't know about, I'm not the kind of guy to ask about servers and if they'll be, how they're hosted and all that kind of stuff, but we do plan to have multiplayer and we want to make it as seamless and as easy to join in with your friends in that as possible. So
I made a post on our Discord today telling Zach I thought it was time for him to come back on. Next week, since we'll be in El Paso, is probably not the time for it because it's going to be an unusual deal in general, but I think the week after that, I asked Zach if he could join. So we'll see what he says, but hopefully 2 weeks from today, we'll have Zach on. If you come back and hang out with us then, ask Zach that question and he'll answer it, or you can go over to Discord and ask him and he'll answer it as well.
And ignore a broken wrist in this build, guys. That's bugged. Also, guys, next week, as Brian said, he'll be here visiting me. So we're going to do we'll definitely do at least one live stream. That's going to be a Q&A only. We probably won't even be playing a game. We're just going to be probably sitting on my patio and just answering questions. So if you guys think about questions you want to ask Brian and I, they could be anything, game related, career related, personal questions, whatever. And we'll have fun and answer all your questions. So think about those. And I'm going to probably create a channel in Discord for you guys to start posting them starting next week.
Nice.
Maybe this weekend.
Logan, almost all the graphics in the game are placeholder at this point. We haven't really started working on the graphics. So yeah, the trees and stuff that you see, none of that is even close to final. The bike is pretty close to final, but nothing else is. The rider especially is very far from what it will look like. We haven't started working on the rider at all. It's probably the jankiest thing in the game right now. So,
Maggie,
yeah, man, lots of new stuff coming.
Maggie specifically said she hates the trees. She made the trees, but she doesn't like them and she wants to redo them. So the trees will be fixed. Trees are hard though because
she
the
just
nicer
made
you make
for
them,
the initial prototype, right?
Yeah, but trees are a tricky thing because if you make them look really good and lush and full, then it creates a lot of triangles. And when you have thousands of trees in the environment, so there's tech problems you've got to work around to make it work. But we'll do the best we can.
Rob Van says, "What do we think of Mavericks?" I haven't played it personally. I've watched some gameplay, so I can't really give an opinion on the gameplay, but I will say had a conversation once with Matt, and he seemed like a really nice guy. And hopefully that game works out well for him, and the community has another great game to play. That's what I'll say about it. Joe, anything you have to say about that?
Yeah, I think they took a different approach. I think their game is less physics based and more animation based. I think it looks pretty, but I don't know. I think it'll cater to different players. If you want more physics-based, not canned animations and stuff like that, Cranked is probably more your jam. We'll see what happens though. They're in early access, so they got time to fix things up and make it better. And yeah, hope the game succeeds and wish them the best. And
yeah,
see what happens. But I've played maybe 4 hours of it, 5 hours, something like that.
R is asking if we'll have a community section in the game where players can share their replays of runs, tricks, etc.
That's a good question. Not one we've had before.
Yeah.
We do want to have.
I don't think we have had that question.
No, I don't think so. We do want to have a replay feature, so you can check out other people's replays. You can create edits. Maybe different camera angles and do all those kind of things and share edits and such. I never thought about having it shareable within the game, so that's something interesting. I guess we just have to worry about server fees and storing all those things and all that. So I'm not sure how that would work, but something to think about later down the road when we start working on that stuff. Typically, the way we're doing things now is like, in the past, I used to do game design as, you know, I'd write a massive 50, 60, 70 page game design document. That was like the game design Bible of the game and whatever, you know, but I've realized over time and designing many games that it's kind of a waste of time because plans change. So the way we're doing things now is kind of designing one thing at a time. And when we start working on a new thing, we're very open about it with the community. We show it to you guys in real time. Like right now, we're showing you guys the new animation of the suspension and all that stuff. And next will be the new rider and all that. So we kind of do one thing at a time. So when the time comes and we tell everyone, all right, we're going to be working on the replay editor, then that's when you guys, you know, we will want your input and get you in there and letting us know how to make it better, test it out with us, and kind of iterate it from there. So we're kind of just taking things one step at a time, slowly.
Dylan is asking, when is third person coming out? We started working on it last week, and we have there's the first working version of third person. It's early. We know that there are elements of jank. The rider looks terrible. But it's, you know, less than a week of dev into third person at this point. Zach's hammering on it. I know he's motivated to get it right. So hang with us, man. We'll see how third person develops over the coming weeks. Maybe check in next week for our live and see the difference between what you see right now and next week, because I would venture to guess there will be improvements in third person by this time next week.
Yeah, the next thing Zach actually is going to do is he's really sick of trying to deal with this rider that we got from the Unity asset store or wherever we got it. It's not good to work with, according to him. So he's actually going to put in a placeholder mannequin while Maggie's still working on the rider. That the mannequin will be like the same dimensions and have the same movement that the actual rider's going to have. And then he can start working on stuff while Maggie's still working on the rider. And then once she's done with the rider, he can just pop it on top of the mannequin and it should still work right. So maybe if you get a build next week, the actual rider's not going to look like this. It's going to look like some very janky placeholder mannequin, but it'll have better movement than this guy has. So it'll look worse, even though this guy doesn't look great. It'll look worse, but the movement will be better.
We're getting a bunch of the same questions, real like rapid fire. Like, let me try to knock these out real quick, Joe.
Do it.
Kind of calm things down a little bit. We don't know when it'll be on console yet. We're in pre-alpha still. We're developing initially on PC. You can play on PC, Mac, or there's a Linux build that you can play on a Steam Deck as well. That's what we have right now. The goal is certainly to expand to the consoles and but that's well into the future. Another question we had, what tricks are there going to be? You already can do whatever tricks are possible physics-based, so 360s, flips, whips, etc., because it's all built into the physics. We don't have any animations in the game yet. Eventually, we have ideas for adding more substantial tricks, and Joe has a really good idea how to do this well, but that's a future thing, and we haven't tackled that yet. The game is out now. Football on Top, it's out in its pre-alpha phase that we're in right now. We haven't even made the alpha phase yet. You can get it via our Patreon, and you'll see a URL for our Patreon on the screen. If you go there, you'll see what you can do to play the same build that everybody else in our community is playing right now. Hundreds of people are playing Cranked right now, more every day, and you can too if you're interested, for sure. JC, thank you so much for the follow. I hope I answered everybody. I got a bunch of questions like 20 times in a row, and it's making it hard for me to see if I've missed everything or not. I don't know. Do you think it will be out within the next month? I mean, it's out already in a way, right? Because you can play what we've got available. So I don't know. The question of like when will it be out? I guess if you play on console, it's a very legitimate question. But if you're capable of playing on PC or Mac or whatever, I would say it's out already, just in a very early version. But will the final version be out in a month, or will it be on console in a month? No, nowhere close to that.
Mike ran him over. That was hilarious. That's got to be a clip. Where are we at? We're at 2.5 hours in. I got to remember that clip. That was funny.
Cool. JC wants to know when we plan on play testing. I mean, in a way, you know, since people are playing it already, it's already happening. But if you're talking about like Steam play testing, Joe, do you have a take on that?
We'll do a Steam play test before we launch the Steam demo, hopefully sometime this winter. We don't have exact dates, so just follow us and stay tuned for updates. Best way to stay updated is just follow us TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You can join our Discord, discord.gg/cranked, or the Patreon, obviously. So if you follow any of those, you'll know immediately when we've got a playtest.
Yeah. Jess says only PC or other platforms. Yeah, so far PC, Mac, Steam Deck. Eventually other platforms, but they're a ways away.
And when he says Steam Deck, it's like we put up a Linux build and you can side load it.
Yeah.
It's not like on the Steam store or anything. There is a Steam page if you guys want a wish list. And it will not
Lewis
be
wants to
free.
know if you can give your rider gloves like Fox gloves or 100%. Not yet. We just haven't gotten that far yet. You know, we haven't even made the rider yet, let alone the rider's gear. So you're looking at like a janky store asset version of a bad rider right now. So, but eventually we want to do that stuff. If you go to our Mad Skills motocross game and Mad Skills BMX and the other games that Joe and I made in the past, you'll see all kinds of real brands. And everybody in action sports, everybody wants real brands. You know, they don't want us making up fake brands. That never, in Mad Skills Motocross, there was never a time a fake brand was a hit. It was always when we put Fox Racing in the game, or when we put MSR in the game, or Troy Lee, or somebody like that. So we would like to do that in this game too. We're just not there yet. What we have going over here on a YouTube? What's hanging out with us over there? How's everybody on YouTube feeling today? You guys have anything you want us to do here as we start to creep toward the end? We didn't establish an end time today because I don't have anything going on tonight, and I don't know if you do, Joe. But
Nah.
y'all have anything you want us to do or talk about?
Oh, I missed. I can't get up there. Can I just crawl up this? Yeah.
Nice. I wonder if anybody has ideas of Easter eggs you would like to see in Cranked. We're probably going to do like a live stream on Discord only at some point where we kind of work with our community to implement some Easter eggs. But I want to know if anybody now has ideas already that we can pass over to Zach that he can think about.
Here we go.
We've always enjoyed doing Easter eggs. It's a lot of fun. So look at this. Ooh.
Big old gap. This version should be out on Patreon maybe next week. We've got goals to get. These are the goals we had for this version, for the next Patreon version, was suspension working, which is done. The leaderboards reworked, which is not done. And getting in some new art, which is also mostly done. So really the only thing left is fixing some bugs like the body, the wrists, some other things. We've already got like these new start gates and things in. So I think next week should be doable to get a build out.
Oh, I see. Dylan was asking if third person will be out within a month. Sorry about that, Dylan. Misunderstood you there, man. I think I'll be surprised if third person isn't playable next week by everybody in the Patreon. Very surprised. I guess we'll see. I don't want to speak for Zach, but the way it's gone, do you see any reason why?
Nah, I mean, it's janky and it's like not, like the camera itself needs to be worked on and changed in settings, but it's here, it's playable, it's fun. So I think why not release it? Who cares?
Yeah. There you go.
Will there be a dirt jumper? The plan is to have multiple bikes. We're focusing on the downhill bike now, but in the future we'll add enduro bike, trail bike, hopefully dirt jumper, and maybe even a BMX bike. And then in the future, I'd like to do even more bikes. Cross-country bike, tandem bike, maybe a unicycle. I don't care. If it's a bicycle and you can pedal with it, I want it in the game.
Rob Van, I'm going to answer your question. You've asked it a few times, and I want to answer you here, man. Can you customize your bike? Not yet. Eventually, we would like to be able to customize the looks of it, but if you're asking if you can customize like the setup of it, probably not. Joe, I'll let you kind of explain yourself when it comes to that.
Yeah, I think. Oh, they got hitboxes now. Sick.
That's the
They
first time
didn't
I've seen
before.
that. I wondered if
Yeah.
that was going to be the case. That's
amazing.
interesting.
That was amazing. Bikes. I think colors will be a big customization thing, and like decals to put on the bikes. But as far as like, ooh, I want this Shimano group set or a SRAM or a Fox Fork or a RockShox, like we can't go down that route with one artist. Like it's just not a possibility. So I think what we would like to do is put in complete bikes. Like, okay, you could pick the Frameworks bike, or maybe we get Santa Cruz V10 or whatever, and you could like pick which one you want, and then on top of that, you could change some colors of it. Depending on what the brands allow us to do, you could change like livery or decals or graphics and things like that. But as far as rider goes, the rider customization will probably be more robust than the bike customization. You'll be able to pick like helmet, jersey, goggles, gloves, shoes, shorts, pants, male, female, skin color, maybe hair type and stuff, so the rider will be more customizable than the bikes, but we're going to do as much as we can with the team that we got.
Rylan on TikTok, hope you're still with us. I want to answer your question. Actually, I want to pose this question to our YouTube community who's following along on YouTube, because everybody on YouTube pretty much plays regularly. Rylan's question is, I'm curious on the physics. It looks like the bike is very light. So I want to pose that out to the people on YouTube who are playing, and I will read any responses that anybody there gives to us verbatim. If you agree, say so. If you disagree, say so. Whatever you guys want to say about it. Let's let the community answer this question. Thanks for the question, Rylan. Good one.
They're talking in YouTube. They're talking about the one Easter egg. I found the one. Actually, Antgrass found it, and I was hanging out with him in Discord, and he found it, and I saw it. Here's the one Easter egg.
Alec on TikTok says the bike feels heavy, Tim. Sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
What a froggy nice view up here. So we found this one. I haven't found any other ones yet, though. But let's drop a marker and do a little free ride line down this craziness.
Ours talking about customizing riders with tattoos.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I'd like to have some tattoos. I'd like to get my tattoo.
It's a sick idea, R. I'm with you, man. I like it.
Feels heavy most of the time, but light sometimes with loads of speed on berms. Yeah, it also depends on like how many G-forces you're pulling, how fast you're going. But we also are going to work on, you know, we haven't done anything in terms of visual effects. We've done very little in terms of haptic feedback. I know some of you turn it off, but you're wrong. You should leave it on. So, you know, I want to do that. Like, I think you can make it feel heavy with haptics very well. I think Bike World, is that what it's called? There's a new like biking game that came out, and I thought their haptics were amazing. You know, there's more things we'll be doing to make the feel even better, but I do think it feels weighty already.
Erin says when it comes to the weight, not at all. It feels appropriately weighty and has good grip in her view. I know she's a rider as well, so this is coming from a rider. And then on the TikTok side of things, I got another answer about the weight. Austin says it feels heavy most of the time, but light sometimes with loads of speed on berms. That's Austin's view.
I'm gonna try to
Austin also follows up by saying he's a fan of how it feels so far. He's been spending loads of time on the game. So,
guys, I'm gonna try to just go top to bottom the whole mountain without crashing and see if we can do it. I don't think I've ever done that before.
Bennett wants to know, as you're riding, Joe, on TikTok, I mean on YouTube, how does the suspension update change the feel of the bike?
I mean, it didn't change the physics of the bike because we already had the suspension physically working. It just wasn't visually working. So I think it makes it feel more dynamic and alive and active, obviously, because you're seeing things moving. But as far as feel goes, it feels similar to what you're used to.
Brendan says it needs that old school thing where when you go off the map, it shoots you back. The issue with that is sometimes when you go off the map, it's fun to keep going, though. So, you know, you can...
We've got an Easter egg related to that I have in the plans.
Okay. Okay.
Should we... I could tell you guys. I mean, there's probably 100 of you here right now, so if I spoiled it for 100 of you, there's still going to be hopefully hundreds of thousands of people that I didn't spoil it for. So what do you guys want? You want me to tell you what my idea is for that, or should we just keep it a secret?
Yeah, tell them. Yeah, tell them. They're going to want to hear.
All right, so the backside of the mountain right now is nothing. Like, it just drops off a cliff, which obviously we have to do something with. So the plan is to make the backside, actually, we're going to make this whole thing an island. So you're going to be on a big island, and the backside will actually have features, but it's going to be treeless. Like, there won't be things to really run into. It's just going to be like natural terrain, mostly like loose rock. Have you ever seen those videos of those guys who go free riding down like the massive mountains on a bike, and they're basically just like carving down the mountain, and it looks super fun and flowy, and they're just hitting natural lines and kind of, that's going to be the vibe on the back of this whole bike park. But it's on an island, so eventually you're going to get to water. And what I want to do is like, if you go in the water, you know, maybe like reset you back at the top or whatever. But the Easter egg that I want to do is that if you can launch off of a ramp by the beach and you go far enough into the water, a whale just swallows you up and then just spits you back all the way to the top of the mountain. I think that'd be hilarious.
I like it.
So there you go.
I like it. One more comment I'm going to make about Rylan, who brought up the weight thing. He says, just like the bike seems like it soars with enough speed, on videos it looks like you're floating. So I wonder, you know, if a game feels one way but looks another way, and the looks of it misrepresent it to a lot of people, then that's an issue that we as developers need to figure out how to solve, because we want impressions to be accurate the best that we can. So I wonder if other people who haven't played before feel like the game looks floaty, and if we're getting very different, you know, it's being seen differently by people who have played versus people who haven't played. I wonder.
Yeah, we do get that feedback from people who haven't played that it looks floaty, but then when people play it, they don't. We even asked Cam McCall, that who's pro rider and really knows, the ins and outs of real riding more than I definitely do, and asked him his first impressions of the game. Did he think it felt floaty? And he goes, "Man, we played for a couple hours and never once did it come up in conversation or cross our mind that the game was too floaty."
But Bray on TikTok, who hasn't played, agrees that to him or her, it also looks floaty when you see it. So, we'll have to take that into account and see if we can figure out. Hopefully, the changes we make coming up make it not look that way. But thanks for that feedback. It's good to know.
Yeah, I'm trying to see to the suspension. Is it doing that thing again? Yeah. So that
Austin is asking for a Fika break run when you get a chance, Joe.
Fika break, yeah, sure. So I'm wondering if the suspension is broken on. I just loaded the wrong map. I think I don't know. Well, hold on. Actually, can I go back? No. Let's go back to this because I want to see if right when I load in, is the suspension broken? Yeah. So I think what it is this map is got some bugs and the prototype map doesn't. Fika break. Let's do it. Because now look, you load in and now the suspension's fine. So I think that map is just bugged. All right, here we go. Fika break.
Go. While you do that, I'm going to thank some people here because we've got some people who just followed us a lot. We just actually we just passed 200 new followers in this stream already.
Oh, that might be a record.
Might be. Dylan, thank you, man, for the follow, and LJ for the follow. We got a follow by Gabe McKinley. Much appreciated, Gabe. And Can't Hold Colton. Nobody can hold Colton. Followed us as well. Ollie, thank you all for hanging out with us and giving us a shot. We come out here every week and do these live streams. We're working really hard at this thing, trying to make the best possible game that we can, self-funded effort. And when you guys follow us and hang out with us and give us time to show you what we're working on and ultimately try out what we're building, it makes it all worth it. So thank you very much.
Guys, ignore the wrists. Just take a giggle for the wrists. Sometimes you gotta just laugh at the jank.
Dude, Ollie just shot over 40 roses. I've never received 40 roses in my entire life in any capacity from anybody.
Hell yeah.
Do you have any idea what that would feel like, Joe? Receiving 40 roses until this moment? I had no frame of reference. Thank you so much, Ollie.
Screwed it up.
Alec wants to know, and Alec, I just want to say again, man, you've been here for so long. I appreciate you hanging out with us the whole time. On TikTok, people have more of a tendency to come in and out. Whereas on YouTube, usually people come hang out with us for a long time. So it's nice anything that works for a person is great, but I like when I see somebody on TikTok who hangs out with us for a while. So thank you. Wants to know, how will multiplayer work? Eventually, will it be private or like Riders Republic or like Descenders?
I would like to have both. Ryland's asking if you download now, can you play offline? Yeah, you can play fully offline. The leaderboards won't work. But multiplayer, yeah. So I want it to be, we got to talk to Zach too. He's the tech guy, and I can't just say things and hope the magic happens. But if I could have it my way, I would love for you to be able to. First of all, anything you can do online, you should be able to do offline. This won't be a free-to-play game. I understand free-to-play games, they require you to be online. That makes sense because the only way they make money is if you're online and buying stuff in their store. That's why Skate requires you to be online. So this won't be a free-to-play game, so we don't have to worry about requiring people to be online. So if you want to play offline and do all the races and all that kind of stuff offline, you can. You still have access to the leaderboards, but there'll be no one in your environment. Like, that is your option. If you want to get into a server where it's just you and your buddies and no one else in the environment, I want that to be an option. And if you want to play, I'm hoping like the default way you would play is, if you just join an online server, it feels like a real-life bike park. There's people all over the place. There's proximity chat. There's like a little hangout spot at the base of the mountain. You can meet new people there, go for rides together, link up. So it's kind of your choice. 3 options. You want to play offline by yourself? Do you want to play private lobby with your friends? Or do you want to play in a public lobby kind of where everyone is? So that's kind of how I want it to be. What do you guys think? Do you agree with that? Do you not? Would you like it a different way? I feel like that gives you kind of all the options. But I would like the default version to like pop you into a server with more people. I have no idea how many people, Captain Jax. That's a Zach question.
Psychotic agrees with you. Sam agrees with you. Alec thinks it's probably the best way on TikTok.
Nice.
Bray says, here's a point Bray makes about floating. Let me run this by you, and this might be a Zach thing. So, hey, Bray, I don't know if you have any interest, but it'd be great for you to come over and hang out with us on the Discord and bring this stuff up over there so it can be in a scenario where Zach can have a conversation with you and understand what you're getting at. But he's one of the ones who feels like it looks floaty from the videos, Joe, and he says, there being no speed feedback besides the FOV while the cam moves fast creates the illusion of floating.
Gotcha.
So maybe it's a feedback issue. We would love for you to come hang out with us on Discord if you're willing, Bray. Thanks for that.
And you bring up a good point. And I think part of the alpha phase is working on the basic visual effects stuff. And that, you know, the very first like versions of VFX that we're going to do is going to be based on like speed trails and motion blur. And, you know, when you're in third person, you need to have a dust and stuff come from behind the tire and all those kind of things to help the feeling of movement. So I'm hoping once we get those things in, maybe that helps with the floatiness. But if you have any specific ideas of things we should add that you think could help, definitely let us know.
King's Clip, welcome, man, says proximity chat. That's a great idea. Likes that.
Goose Frabo, 100-person race from top to bottom would be sick. I'm going to disagree with you, but mostly because we've done that, right? And it can be fun at times, but they have that in Riders Republic. And when it first came out, I would do those mass races and they were kind of fun. But after a couple of them, I kind of got bored of it. Like I don't know. They were easy to win. Like I was always top 3, I felt like. And it was, if anything, it's more frustrating because there's people bumping into you and knocking you over and they're kind of like ruining your run. And it's like, you're just like, oh, you're not in control. So that's why we're sticking to like a time attack style where it's like you just hone in your lines and you get put on a leaderboard. But in the future, we'll see what happens. It's also a lot harder to do multiplayer, real-time multiplayer like that with collisions on in that. So that's another reason we're going for kind of the time attack way. Easier to pull off for a small indie team.
Psychotic, thank you for the follow. He says, love how you guys take constructive criticism. Can tell you guys are going to be all for your fan base. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why we're doing it, right? Like, if you develop a game kind of behind closed doors and then you release it, you get all this. We've done it a bunch of times. You get all this feedback, and then you have to kind of try to determine what you want to respond to and what's feedback you agree with, etc. But when you're doing it like we're doing it, developing it in public, the whole point is that we get honest feedback from people. Like, just having everybody say, oh, it's awesome, when they don't tell us what they really think, if they have ideas or problems or things they don't love, it's not going to help us make the game better. So our goal here is to make the most fun, best mountain bike game that we can make, that we're capable of making. And I'm with you, man, like listening to what people say and taking that in, not getting defensive about it, and, asking ourselves, is there something here? Can we make the game better? I mean, that's just the way to go as far as we're concerned. So thanks for acknowledging that, man. Appreciate it.
Tyler was asking if the forks compress. That's why I'm riding backwards so you could see the forks compress.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
Alex says would be cool to be able to play this on a Peloton. We've heard that before, actually. Many people have said that. Luke likes the idea of mass races. Luke Heinrich on TikTok, just to have the option, you think would be nice. Yeah.
What do you guys think of a mass race with collisions turned off? So like other people can't knock you out or whatever, but you still have the mass race. You guys think that's still fun, or is it only fun if you can just kick your buddies?
YZ250, my moto guy's in the house right now. Thanks for the follow. He says, can we get a looser lean physic? It looks really magnetic being vertical.
What do you mean?
If you're still with us, YZ, let us know exactly what you mean by that.
The right stick controls the lean of the rider, so some of it could be how I'm playing. We also have a thing called a setting. It's not a player-facing setting anymore, but we've got this thing called berm detection that kind of helps like align the bike with the berm. So if something's off and maybe it's a little too snappy to the berms, maybe that's what you're talking about. We need to tweak that setting, but I'm curious if you could elaborate on that.
Mason says first person needs full arms. Yeah, we haven't started working on the rider yet. So the entire rider is just placeholder jank at this point. So hang out with us for a while. Maggie's working on the rider now, the first rider. It won't surprise me if we see an actual rider model within the next couple of weeks. We actually asked Maggie today if she had enough available for us to show it on the stream today, but she wasn't feeling like she was ready for that. So we let her make that decision. When she's ready to show it, that's enough for us.
Yeah, and her reasoning, which I thought was very smart of her, was that you know, she's in her creative mode right now, and she said her direction might change. Like she's in the middle of working it and figuring it out, and she doesn't want to show it to you guys now, and then like 2 weeks from now we show something else and it's totally different, and you guys are like, what? It looked so different before. So she's doing her creative thing and having fun with it, and gotta let her cook for a while, and then we'll show her when she's ready.
Rylan asks, can I be reminded what the feel for this game is? Is it realistic or is it arcade? We consider it simcade. I know Tails, one of our best players, is he thinks it's firmly in the simcade camp. But the gist of it is, it's got arcade elements to it, but there are going to be a lot of realistic elements in it. We're not going for a simulation. What Joe's trying to replicate is what it feels like to ride. This is a more subjective thing. It's not like it's realistic because you have an input for every single element of riding a mountain bike in real life, and you're going to get flat tires, and you can adjust your suspension and that type of stuff. It's not going to be like that. But we think it already feels more like ride. I'm a motorcycle guy myself. Joe's a mountain bike guy. But we feel like this game feels more like what it feels like to ride than the other mountain bike games we've played. So that's the kind of realism we're going for. The sensation of riding, the feel of flow, etc. So kind of a mix of arcade and sim.
Yeah. So like where we want the sim stuff to come in is like the way the trails look and feel and the style of the trails. I think other mountain bike games aren't good at replicating tech trails and rocky stuff. And like, let me go show you an example of a really rough trail. So we want that to be realistic to an extent. Obviously there'll be some trails that get a little silly at times, but you know, we want tech riding and all that to feel good. I don't, but on the arcadey side of things, you know, we want things to be forgiving. So like the way you would crash in real life, you'd probably crash way more often than what you're seeing me do in the video game. But if you make crashes very realistic in this game, it becomes a very frustrating experience. Like right there, I just cased the hell out of that thing. The reason we don't make you crash is because it doesn't really affect the very engaged, hardcore competitive players. Like if I had done that in a race run and I'm a competitive player, I'm going to restart and redo the race run because I know that me casing that thing just cost me like 2 or 3 seconds or however long it would be. But if you're a very casual player and your goal is just to kind of have fun and get to the bottom of the mountain, it sucks to crash all the time. And being able to case something like that hard and then just be able to keep rolling and be able to finish a run is fun. So it makes it fun for you know, the more casual fans, but then the hardcore people, it doesn't really affect them. They're going to restart the race run anyway. So like when it comes to crashing, we're pretty lenient and pretty arcadey. Yeah, but the realistic stuff, you know, we want to replicate downhill mountain biking and kind of UCI World Cup stuff. We want that to be realistic and competitive. And so, you know, we kind of, the end goal of this is to make it as fun as possible. So I think sometimes to make it more fun, you've got to stretch the bounds of reality. That's what video games are all about anyway. So yeah,
exactly. Igor MTV says you get too much airtime and that's unrealistic and you're trying to call it realistic. We're really not trying to we're not saying it's a fully realistic game. Like if you listen to what we're saying that there are elements of it that'll feel that way, that'll feel realistic, but then there are elements that are going to be arcadey and that are going to be exaggerated, and finding the balance of that so that it's the most fun is the whole thing that we're going for. Give it a shot, man. Like play it and see what you think. And if you don't want to subscribe on Patreon right now, just hang tight for a couple months. Maybe follow us if you want to follow along for the next couple months, and we'll have a free demo, and then you can try it and see what you think.
It also depends a lot on the level design. Like Antgrass can get in here and make a level where it's very realistic. It's slow speeds. The jumps are small, right? You could also make a level that's just ridiculous and has a 1,000-foot gap and a crazy jump in, like a roll into it, and it could, you know, you could do that same stuff in real life. The thing is, in real life, the consequences are death. So like, could you create a ridiculous massive jump and a big massive roll in and do a jump that's huge? Yeah, you could, but you're gonna die. So that's where video games are fun, is you get to kind of stretch the bounds of reality. So, you know, you could make hyper realistic trails in this game, and I think the physics kind of work well on them. But you can also make unrealistic trails in this game, and physics are also fun on those. So, and yes, you can manually
Mason,
throw one.
Yeah. Mason's asking us if it's just us two working on the game. No, in fact, I don't work on the game itself at all. The game itself, I'm not on staff or anything. I'm one of the investors in the company, and I'm one of the consultants in the company. I help Joe with a lot of things and a lot of stuff on the business side. But it's Joe and 3 others mostly who are actually doing the building here. Small team. Faux show, small team.
Oh, here's a good
somebody
question.
else asked if we've made games before. Yeah, we made Mad Skills Motocross, Mad Skills BMX. If you guys know the Mad Skills mobile games, we're part of the OG crew there, and we're all still involved with Turborilla and the Mad Skills games in different ways.
Good question that I want to answer here. YZ250, can you do multiple styles of whips? And please tell me we can scrub jumps. So the thing,
A moto guy coming in
yeah,
in
dude,
strong,
you know.
wants to see the scrubs.
So one thing we said you might have missed is as of now we have 0 canned animations. There's none, right? So if you want to whip or you want to scrub, you have to do it with a stick, similar to like MX bikes, right? Like you've got to throw things around. We're still working on the whips and the scrubs and the rider movement because this rider's placeholder, so things will change. But the reason we like the free physics approach is because the way everyone rides is different in this game. If you watch me ride and then you watch Tails and then you watch Suit and ride, like we all have a different style. So yeah, there are different types of whips and scrubs and things. Like here, let me scrub this thing. Boom. Probably shouldn't have because I cased it, but it's all up to you and kind of how you want your riding to look with how you move the sticks. That's what we want. We want people's style to come through in their riding and not have canned animations where every whip looks the same in the game. But you can scrub already. Like, let me show you an example. Where can I show you a good example?
Showed an example of that, and also showed an example of you landing in a manual when you get a chance.
Yeah.
Alex says the poor rider seems to get blamed for everything. It was the bike before the rider, Alec. Before it was the rider, we were just killing the bike. But yeah, you're right. There's some manualing for you. Will, thanks for the heart, Will. Appreciate it, man.
But yeah, I'm going to get to these jumps over here, and I'll show you scrubs. So stick around if you want to see scrubs for another 30 seconds.
Mason asks, can we do a collab? What do you mean? What do you have in mind, Mason? Maybe.
And no, you can't shift gears, Luke. I think that's just overly complicated and not necessary to get, to have fun in this game. I will say, though, I have an idea for a cross-country mode in this game eventually, way down the road. And if we do a mode like that, absolutely it would be shifting gears. But I think for downhill racing, it's not super important.
Aaron says, let Maggie cook. Indeed, Aaron. Let Maggie cook. That is the plan. Let everyone on this team cook, in fact. Let everybody do what they want to do and what they're good at, and let people be guided by their passion, 100% with you.
All right, we're getting to the scrub spot. I'm going to kind of show you. I'm going to do a run straight airing everything, not scrubbing. And then I want to do a rub? I want to do a run scrubbing and show you guys the difference. So here we go. First run, I'm not going to scrub and kind of pay attention of where I land. It's kind of right in the dark dirt there. That one's right at that first shadow. So past the shadow there. What's up?
I had to call out this May J comment on TikTok because it's epic. He says, people want 100% simulation until they get shot in an Arma mod and have to do 6 months of rehab.
Yeah.
Right, like you crash one time and cranked, and the next thing you know, you get pins in your arm and you can't play again for 9 months or a year. Yeah.
So like right there, I scrubbed that and I didn't even clear it, where before I was clearing it easy. Same with that. So you can scrub. Yeah. We've got work to do on the scrubs because, like, let me show you in third person. I'm not happy with how they look in third person. The bike's not leaning enough. In first person, it felt kind of good, but in first person, like, it's not leaning enough on the takeoff. So we got to fix that. But you can see, like, I'm not even clearing some of these jumps where before I was clearing them easily. So the actual physics of it is working, but I think we need to work on some of the visuals of the scrubs.
Yeah. You can see some of it more in third person than you could in the first person too. Jacob, Ernesto, J-Dog, Noah, thank you all for the follows. We've had, this is TikTok showed up, man. This is the biggest TikTok stream we've had so far. Constantly over 100 concurrent and lots of new followers.
Nice.
Really
Thanks,
it,
TikTokers.
guys. Really appreciate it.
Fun section up here. This is going to be our beginner jump trail that Antgrass is working on. He just finished it actually today or yesterday. But check out this section. I love this. So you come into this booter.
I haven't seen this.
It's a nice, easy booter
like
to clear. And then you got this sick thing where you can ride it or you can gap it, berm to berm. And then you got this, which has a bunch of different options. So you can hit, camera's weird. You can gap it big, or let's put a marker right here just so we can session this thing. We're going to cheat and just go right here.
So you can drop off the hill and pick up some speed.
Yeah, exactly.
Luke says, I appreciate how open you guys are to constructive criticism and talking to the community. Good. I'm glad you do, man. Hope that means you'll be a part of our community with us.
So this berm, you can just ride it. You don't need to gap it. You can gap it if you want. But then this thing, you can hit the booter before, or you can hit the dirt lip like that. Or third option, you can not jump on the dirt lip and then kind of go up half of the bridge and just kind of gap the wood part of it. So this section is just so much fun. There's like so many different line possibilities. I love jumping these two berms. But then here you go. Like you can kind of push down, compress here, and then pop. So lots of different line options there. Super fun for beginners. And then you can hit that kicker once you feel like you're getting faster. So I'm excited for that.
R says a new Easter egg idea. We've had people say put the original bike in the game as an Easter egg, but R's idea, Joe, is the original bike crashed down a hill somewhere.
Yeah, there you
so
go.
the original bike like janked and turned upside down, like hanging from a tree or something. That's a really good idea. I like it. Really good idea.
And we're gonna call it the Steez Master Supreme is what Jens wants us to call it. So.
All right. Sampin Zone, man. Thank you for sharing this live, and Jonah for following us. Really appreciate it very much. Ethan the Dripper asking what differentiates from Descenders. Because we get this question a lot, Joe made a video and we pinned it to the top of our TikTok profile. So in the past, we've tried answering this every time and it kind of dominates the stream. So now we just made that video. So if you'd like to know our take, just check out the top of our profile on TikTok. And if you want to get a sort of a third person take, go to YouTube and search for Cranked versus Descenders. There's a good video on there from a player who likes both games a lot and talks about the differences and what he likes about each of them. It's a good way to understand what we're doing that's different. Oh. No problem, Ethan. You're very welcome, man.
To give you the TLDR, physics are much more grippy and grounded, and we're kind of going for more racing and stuff like that. But go watch the full video. We go into details. It's only like 2 minutes long or something like that. It's not long.
Eric says this is the stuff the mountain bike community needs. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'm glad. No Name asks when is it released. We don't know when the like global release will be, but you can play along with us because we're developing in public and releasing every build that we do to our Patreon. So if you want to play now, the one Joe's playing right now, we haven't released a Patreon. That's probably not going to be till next week. But we've got an active build, and we usually do 3-ish on average new updates per month. So if you want to play now, just head over to the Patreon. You can see the URL on the screen, and find, or just go to Patreon and search for Crank. You'll find it that way too. Scott, thanks for sharing the live, man. And Elliot for following.
Wait a second. What time?
Alec wants to know how much longer we're going to stream because the phone's going to die soon. I don't know. We normally stop by now. We've actually gone about 30 minutes over from where we normally go. And I will need to eat at some point. Joe.
Yep.
Should we do a sort of a last request and finish things up, you think? Or do you want to keep it going for a while?
We can do a round of questions here and finish it up and see what you guys think. Guys, just to do a recap, Brian and I are founders and owners of this session syndicate working on this game called Cranked. It's kind of been my dream to make a mountain bike game. I think I've got issues with the current games out there and didn't think they represented mountain biking to the full extent that they could. So that's kind of our goal here. I know a lot of people, you guys think it looks like Descenders. We're only about 5 months. We're going on 6 months into development. We need a lot more time to make this thing look good and finish things out. We're a small team of only 4 people working on the game. If you want to play now, you can join our Patreon. We're self-funded. We don't have a publisher. Most publishers, all the publishers we pitched to turned us down, and they said, no thanks. We don't want a mountain bike game. It's too niche. And we decided, let's make it anyway, and let's put our own money into it. So the reason we're using Patreon is to grow the community, help us get more funds to finish development, to make the game bigger and better. We've got a lot of big ideas, but making games in today's day and age is extremely expensive. This game will probably cost around, $1 million or $2 million by the time we're all said and done. So if you want to get involved into the early, like pre-alpha type stuff and help us make the game better, give us your feedback and insights, you can join the Patreon for $5 a month. You can cancel anytime. If you do cancel, you still get to keep the versions of the game that you downloaded when you were subscribed. We have it available for Mac and PC. It runs on pretty low-end hardware, especially on low settings. What else? If you end up spending $50 throughout the Patreon campaign, which we will probably have up for at least another year, You'll get a Steam key when the game comes out for a free version. So if you spend a bunch of money on Patreon, it's not going to waste. Not only is it helping us with development, but you'll get a Steam key at the end. There's also a lot of other perks by joining the Patreon, like exclusive rider gear. Some of the tiers have ability to like name your own trail or have a call with me and give me your ideas on a one-to-one call. A bunch of other things like that. So that's kind of the story of us and what we're doing, what we're trying to make. But if you guys got questions, we'll take another round of questions, and then we're going to hop off here.
Also, it's not the first game we've made. We've been making games for a long time. Joe and I have been working on Mad Skills Motocross, Mad Skills BMX, all the Mad Skills games for many, many years. The first time I ever saw Mad Skills Motocross, it was a PC game before it went mobile. So I've been, working on that franchise since the beginning of it for the most part. So we've made a lot of mistakes in our time. We've had some successes and some wins, and we've made some mistakes. We learned kind of how we like to make games, and this is sort of the culmination of all that, where we're kind of have come together to make the game that we dream of, the way we dream of making a game. That's what we're trying to do. So hopefully, what we think is a good idea and a talented team and a lot of passion combined with experience will allow us to get this thing to where we want it to be, which is going to be a fun, accessible, playable game that mountain bike fans are going to love. But if you've never watched or ridden a mountain bike in your life, you're going to love it as well. That's what we're going for.
Yeah. I'm going to just pop out into drone view and sit here while I answer questions where I think it looks kind of pretty. But
Alec wants to know if oh, sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead. I'm going to go over the questions.
I was just going to say, Alec wants to know if any publishers have reached out to us since starting.
Yep.
Maybe we won't. Yeah, we've had one reach out to us.
At
least one.
Multiple, yeah.
Multiple, okay.
But yeah, we won't say who and go into that stuff because they, whatever. But I'm going to scroll up TikTok. I know you guys were answering some questions. Will there only be downhill bikes? We plan to have more than downhill, at least downhill, enduro, and trail. And then maybe more after that, dirt jumper, BMX. Who knows? I want this to be like the ultimate bike game when we're all said and done. 10 years from now, I'd love you to be able to, like, any kind of bike you hop on. You want to get on a gravel bike with drop bars and start ripping like you see some of these crazy guys do online? Do it, whatever. So we just need time. Small team.
Ivan asked a good one. Have you reached out to mountain bike manufacturers to see if they're interested in sponsoring? I mean, we've already done it because the first bike in our game is based off of a real bike, the Frameworks bike. Can you show it real quick, Joe? You have the picture we can bring up. We haven't looked at that in a while. This is the first bike that we've added in the game. It's the frame. It's based off of the real world downhill Frameworks frame, and it's an example that it's a smaller manufacturer. We did that intentionally because it's easier to work with them and because they're kind of doing a similar thing to what we're doing, building from the heart and building something they think is good. So we put them in the game first. But yeah, we'd like to get other brands in the game eventually for sure.
Will there be multiplayer? Yes, we're gonna actually start working on multiplayer probably in the next couple months, so look forward to that soon. More Descenders questions, guys. There's our very first pinned video in our account. We'll talk about this and Descenders. So if you want to know how they differ, you can check that out, or go on YouTube and search Crank vs Descenders, and some players made a video there you could check out as well. Will it be on console? Yeah, the plan is to do the PC version first, get that dialed in, and then we will launch on console. Mm-hmm. What can you play it on currently? You can play it on a Mac or PC. We also have a Linux build, but we've had mixed reports. We mostly did the Linux build to sideload on Steam Deck, which that works. I don't know how it'll work on other Linux computers because I don't have a Linux computer to test it on, other than a Steam Deck. What else? Does it cost money? Right now it's $5 on Patreon. We don't know the full price when the game releases. It'll be something comparable to our competitors at the time. So, $25, $35 range is what I would guess, but anything can change. Who knows? Economy situations and all that. Be cool to have stamina and progression, like conditioning, to be able to ride better. I want that for a different type of mode. I think a stamina and all that would be cool for like a cross-country mode where I think it's a little more important. I don't want to mess with that in downhill stuff. Does Antgrass model the bikes? No, our artist Maggie models all the bikes. What else? You seen any other good questions there, Brian?
I just want to welcome Blaine Kirkland over on the YouTube side. Nice to see you over there. Hope you hang out with us again. Appreciate it.
Applauser asked free ride trick park. Yeah, we'll have some free ride spots for sure.
Mm-hmm. Saw a comment that I didn't understand, but I don't think he says, I just watched the Descenders video. I think he means the comparison between Descenders and Crank. He said, this love's graphics are way cleaner. I don't fully understand that. I'm not sure what he's saying.
I'm not sure either. But I hate TikTok. Will early backers get the release copy too? If you spend $50 through our Patreon or more, you end up getting the release copy for free. You'll get a Steam key for free. Alec, would there be a chance of UCI partnering? We would love to do that. If anyone out there knows anyone at UCI and wants to connect us, let's talk. But that's my dream, is to have official UCI replica World Series in conjunction with them. You know, I think that'd be sick.
Brendan just signed up for Patreon. Thank you so much. Awesome. Hope to see you over on Discord as well. We hang out over there all the time, so hope to see you there.
How do you change FOV? Yeah, hit like select on your controller to get into the settings menu, and then you can just slide this FOV slider. We also have like this FOV correction thing. The FOV correction only works on this map, doesn't work on the other map. We got to fix that. But yeah, you got those. Will it be open world where you're not in modes to session with friends or meet new riders? It's going to be open world all the time. So whether you're playing solo with friends in the public server with tons of people, it's always going to be open world. You kind of wander around, do your thing, ride how you want. We're trying to make it feel like you're at a real world bike park. You get there, you take the lift up, you find a trail, you ride down it, take the lift back up, all that kind of stuff.
I want to just kind of call out one of our TikTok viewers, Black Dynamite 1987. Earlier, I noticed you asked a couple of questions, and I had intended to respond to you, and I don't think I did. And I was just looking down through the viewers. I see you're still here, so I just kind of wanted to tell you I didn't mean to not respond to your questions. And if you want to pose them again, I'll make sure we answer this time. Sorry about that, man.
What else?
Yeah, Alec is #1 up on TikTok. Let's just do a quick roll call on the top of TikTok, because we've had a lot of people with us for a lot of the stream. Alec and R, Ollie, Bray, Maz, Austin, Football on Top. Lewis made a comment or two. Rylan was really active in the chat. Henry's here. Maxie, Psychotic, contributed a lot to the chat today. Cameron's there at 14. Black Dynamite at 15. Hope I get your question, man. Blaine. $, lots of people hanging out with us for a long time on TikTok today. Really, really good TikTok stream today, I thought.
Yeah, it was.
From the viewer standpoint, like everybody showed up and was super, really participated a lot in the stream. So it's great.
All right, guys. I think we answered about everything, and
yeah,
appreciate you guys hanging out. Next week is going to be fun. We're going to be live streaming with Brian here at my place in person. So we'll probably do
a lot of off the cuff stuff. Just kind of do it because we feel it at the moment, right, Joe? Like we won't even necessarily be planned. So it'll be a good time to join us on Discord, because that's probably where we'll go on and be like, hey, we're gonna do something live tonight or whatever. So
yep, for
sure.
Guys, it says we've got 235 new followers. Can we quickly bump that up to like 250, 15? Can 15 of you hit follow on TikTok? Real quick challenge, please, pretty please.
We got I hate TikTok, and Ryan has just joined us. Got another follow there. Thank you so much. We're trying to get to 250 follows in the stream today, which would be a record for sure. We haven't hit that before. Aaron, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron.
Aaron's been at literally every single stream we've done. This is the 10th stream we've done, not including the solo ones that Joe does. This is the 10th like official developer to us stream, and Aaron's been at every single one.
Here you go, Aaron. I'm gonna give you these flowers right here, virtually. These are for you.
Look at these follows. All these people are coming through and following us. Thank you so much.
We're almost at 240. Appreciate all the follows. Cool. It won't be free. I see a couple people talking about that.
Braden, thank you for the follow so much. Charlie, XXYZ. Maybe another moto person with the YZ in there.
I just
Prez with the follow.
I'm following some of you back too, so let's go. It's a follow train.
Nice. I like it. I can only follow from the Session Syndicate account, which is not very active, so I'll let you handle that side, Joe. Arrow for the join. Welcome. Jumping in right before we're going to shut it down for the week.
Yeah, you'll be able to do some tricks later in the future. You can do some stuff now, like free physics tricks, but we'll do more later.
Yeah.
But that was it. We got up to 240. Thank you guys for boosting us up to 240. That was an amazing TikTok
George,
stream.
too.
241. There we go. All right.
Butterball.
I'm going to hit the end button.
Right.
See you guys next week. Actually, I'll probably do another random TikTok stream at some point. I've been doing random ones here and there, but we'll definitely see you next week.
Thanks for the kitty cat scooter flower. Appreciate it very much. And Lactose Sharon, just as we're going down. Look at this. King's Clip gives us 11 roses as we're about to sign off.
Thank you.
7 more out of King's Clip. King's Clip's been hooking up the roses. We got another follow out of Ash. Part of me wants to like hang out here for another couple minutes to see if we can get to 250, Joe.
I know, right?
This is the
We only need
we're
8
like
more.
we're pimping ourselves out a little bit here.
Let's do it. Let's wait till we get 250. But then you guys are like, if you want the stream to keep going, you're going to start unfollowing so that we make the stream go longer.
Well, I don't think anybody's so desperate that we continue the stream that they start unfollowing us or anything like that.
All right, let's see. Let's see if we can get there. 8 more. Can we get 8 more followers on TikTok, and then we'll end it.
Clint came in, hanging out with us. What's up, man? My brother's name is Clint, spelled differently. Connor's up in the house.
Oh, we did get in one unfollow. That's hilarious. Thanks, McKay,
We
for
got
hanging out.
Raftery. Yeah. Later, McKay. Very cool. All right. Well, we're close.
6
Step
more.
with me is there following. And what do we need, Joe?
5 more. We're at 245.
Well, let's provide some legitimate content and not just sit here and like expect people to follow us when we're not giving them anything. There's got to be something we haven't talked about. Some news we can break these last couple minutes. Something we haven't talked about. What do you think, Joe?
Let's think. What news could we break?
What's your take on Skate 4?
I've been
We
having
haven't
fun
talked
with
about
Skate
that,
4.
right?
I need to play it more. I've played maybe less than 10 hours, 7 hours maybe. I think the gameplay is super solid. I think they did a good job catering to a lot of audiences. I understand a lot of the community's frustration though on how they've departed from some of the OG stuff. It's hard, man. It's hard making sequels because you kind of want, when a designer is going to make a sequel, you want to take things to the next level and change things up, but the fans want the nostalgia and the old vibes, and so I think it's hard to kind of do both. And they're a huge AAA company. They got to answer to shareholders and all that stuff. So I don't know. Overall, I think it's a good game, and I think they're now starting to listen more. If you guys get that survey, they sent out a survey that was really long. I filled that thing out and took my time filling it out, giving them some feedback. So I think they'll listen and make some changes. And I think in the end, it's going to be a really kick-ass skateboarding game.
Ethan is super pumped about the game coming out. Going to be amazing. Thanks, Ethan. Man, hope to see you around again or on the Discord or back on TikTok or on YouTube or whatever. I'm glad to see you around.
Brendan asked, do builds release monthly? Yeah, we'll definitely do builds monthly. Like right now, on average, I think we've probably done 3 or 4 builds a month, maybe more sometimes. Yeah. I mean, there's been times when we did like 2 a week. So it kind of just depends on what the team's working on and how quickly they're getting those things done. If Zach's got a big task, like when he gets to work on multiplayer, it might take him a couple weeks just to get that up and running. So those builds might be slower. But yeah, the plan is to always release at least a build a month, but our goal is 2 to 4 a month.
I think there was a streak of like 3 or 4 streams in a row where we dropped a new build the day of the stream.
Yeah, there was.
Which is always fun.
248 followers. Can we get 2 more followers? I'm trying to think of any other big news that we could... Oh, I could say one thing we haven't said in a while is our hope and our plan is that next year at Crankworks, August next year, that we've got a booth at Crankworks with the game on display, and hopefully are then announcing our early access launch on Steam. That's the plan and the hope and the dream, but things might change. So if you guys are going to go to Crankworks next year, make sure you keep an eye out for a Cranked booth, because that's our goal, is to be there. I think we're going to make it happen to be there, whether or not we're launching.
We're going. Yeah, we're going one way or the other for sure.
So that's the plan. We need 1 more follower, and then we're in this bad boy. Descenders is better, I see. If you're curious how this differs from Descender, check our first pinned post on our TikTok account, and you'll hear a video of us talking about that.
Did Scooter Flower just get us over the top? Did we get 250
We are at
followers
250. That's it, guys.
Boom, Scooter, man.
250.
Scooter dropped in and like came through at the end. Appreciate it, dude. All right.
All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Appreciate
everybody. Thanks so much. Yeah, next time it's going to be the 2 of us together live from El Paso. I'm looking forward to seeing you, Joe. It's been too long, man.
Yeah, me
excited.
Too. Can't wait.
All right.
Bye-bye.